Welcome to the Wandering Inn, where we produce tabletop role-playing and actual play shows for your entertainment. If you find yourself enjoying the show, please take a moment to consider supporting the channel via the Patreon. With that support, we pay the cast, pay for the art and production for our shows, and are hoping to expand the number of shows we bring to you. All of your support is appreciated, and always remember to check the description for links related to the channel and the cast. Welcome, pull up a pew and get comfy, the show's about to start. But before it does, Manor Most Foul is set in MÖRK BORG, and our storyteller for this is Sebastian Illustration, also known as Under the Sea. Alongside this, he is also responsible for the art you'll be seeing during the show. Our cast consists of Valen Vane, Pony Punch, Syrinx, and Sheepdog. I encourage you to investigate the description to find links to their individual channels and content, except for Sheepdog, who is the owner of this channel and currently reading out the intro to you. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy Manor Most Foul.
Having placed the final eye into the last empty socket, the grand statue in the entry hall of the manor, you felt the mechanisms within click, whir, shift into place, and then a great door reveal itself to a dark set of stairs descending below the manor. A voice called out from the dark, beckoning you, excited to finally meet you in person down below.
Oh look, someone from the party's down there already.
Yes.
Go on then. And she kind of like
sort of
shoos.
nudging anyone in particular.
She's like shooing.
Who are you showing? Because
Everyone.
Oh, okay. Question. Do we have the prince with us? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
We do.
You went and fetched him from the hall, who insisted on being carried by Sponge in the new fancier chair.
Oh, there we go. Let's go. So I've got the portaloo on my back and the chair in front of me. All right, here we go. It's all right. Bit of counterbalance. Don't know that word yet, but it's fine. Oh yes, my lord. Just gonna go down. Don't worry. I'll do my best not to drop you down these stairs. It's fine.
Yes, well, as much faith as I have in your balance, Sponge, perhaps it's best if I walk the stairs myself. This could get a bit trepidatious.
Well, that would probably be a little bit safer.
Yes, I suppose. You may set the chair where you please.
Over there works fine.
All right, okay.
Or just set it down, Sponge.
Here we go. This is all right. It's like literally in the middle of the doorway to the stairs. There we go.
No, Sponge the corner. Set it in the corner.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Hellsake.
Pick it up and throw it to a corner.
It smashes into pieces. And simultaneously, from the hall that you came from towards the feast room, you hear a large uproar of cheers and applause, loud enough even so that you can hear it all the way from the end of the hall in the entrance room. And you hear a clacking of what sounds like the hatchets everyone was carrying, banging against the table in the room, and uproarious hoops and hollows, "Yah! Huzzah!" sort of echoing throughout.
Oh, sounds like we have a good distraction.
Sponge.
Oh, all right, okay. I thought they were all doing it, so I thought I'd do it too.
What are you? A brainless mimic? We are not them.
Oh. I thought that we were part of the party because it's for the prince.
I'll forgive this once.
Thank you.
Yes, well, we shall throw an even better, grander, more merry party once we have all that treasure in tow. But
Oh,
that
yeah.
must come first.
Aye.
If ever there was to be a vault in a manor, surely it would be down below, secreted away from the prying hands and eyes of peasants and guests and, well, folks wandering in, I suppose.
Was that who was calling out to us? Was it the treasurer who was anticipating your amazing arrival, my lord?
I should hope not. Treasure doesn't normally speak. It merely glimmers, shines.
She takes I don't know how big this is. Like, do we have to walk like one person at a time, or because I
Everyone
imagine we're
puts-
talking while we're going into the passageway.
Sure. Yeah, everyone but Sponge can sort of go shoulder to shoulder, two at a time. Sponge is a bit too broad, I think, and would probably have to go single file in front or behind someone.
Then I imagine we unless they want to object to it, Buggum would have had to be first.
Yes, I would love a marching order, please.
Svint and Gruten behind Buggum, and then Sponge, and then lastly the prince. If everyone's okay with that.
I feel like, seeing as there's no doors, I really don't need to go in front.
No, okay, everyone is okay with that. Great. Then if that's
behind
the
the prince, because all of the people with the axes are up there, and I can't be trusting them.
okay, if that's the great, the prince can be before Sponge and then the Sponge afterwards. The only thing I want to know is I just want to be able to reach back and take just like take Sponge on the head with like just a flat side of my butcher's blade. Just like bonk him on the head basically. As he would like bonk a dog on the nose and say, "No, you're very foolish, Sponge. That was the voice of the void speaking. Do not mistake it as a treasurer again."
Oh, right, okay. I didn't realize there was a void and it was interested in treasure. Oh, well, today I learned.
The prince chimes in. Perhaps all that prayer is finally paying off, and our day is due.
Of course, my prince. We can hope and see.
Marvelous. Well, let's tarry on then. And the lot of you descend. Buggum first, Svind Groten next, the prince nestled snugly in the middle, and Sponge bringing up the rear.
I
Question.
know you're going to say something, Buggum. Keep walking.
Well, I have a question first. Thank you very much. Before Buggum does. Is this stairway hallway thing down? Is it lit?
Not
Is
in
it
the
lit?
slightest.
In that case, Buggum does have a question. Could I maybe have a torch or something, please?
Yeah, I think I got one here. Hold on.
Right, thank you.
We pass it through.
Oh, there's one. There you
All
go.
right. You pass the torch forward as you descend down these stone-carved stairs, which are very fine at first, a very high-quality make. But as you descend further and further, lower, deeper, the stairs become of a rougher hue, more worn, more used, more earthen. So suddenly you're in simply sort of a straight tunnel, a winding hall of sorts, protruding into the dark. The walls cool, smooth, rounded at the corners. As you walk towards or through this strange, winding, dark tunnel, you find that there are great holes in the walls, roughly yay big, but of varying sizes, and makes each of them tunneling deep, burrowing, like mini tunnels under themselves into the sides, the walls.
Svind, did your rats get out?
No, Sponge.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough. Must be one of them badgers.
But there can be other rats except for mine.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true.
I do not own all of the rats in our world, Sponge.
Now, that's
I
surprising.
should rather. The prince chimes in. I should rather hope there aren't rats that can chew through stone down here.
Aye. Should we stray from the path?
You notice that these sort of holes carved into the stone walls are big enough that you could maybe crawl through. Certainly not walk through, but you could shimmy in. Maybe not
Too
Sponge,
broad.
but some of you.
Yeah. I was about to say.
I would prefer not to. And then Bogum's just been kind of like as tentatively as he can walking down the, and every now and then he just like stops and like shakes the torch with kind of like a just in case there's anything around.
Just
Maybe
in
careful
case.
with that
Give me a
torch,
presence test, Bug'em.
Ooh, that thing
Maybe
that I
careful
never
with that torch.
succeed on.
I will also say that Svind is walking forward, holding her cross with religious fanatism as ever, following where she should be led.
Marvelous.
There is so much dust down here. It's ridiculous. I got a 20, straight 20.
You wave your torch in front of you for a moment, and you see ahead of you shimmering very clearly in the sort of like flickering torchlight. As you wave it back and forth, you see the fine cast shadows of a web of tripwires in front of you. All throughout the hall are dangling fine twine, which seem to suspend from one hole to another.
Right, time to switch. Svind, you're up front first.
They're spaced enough so that one could feasibly maneuver around them, but they are numerous and plentiful.
Oh, I'm aware of that. I'm just hoping if I don't tell them, Svind will die to them.
Marvelous.
What makes you think you can master me around, Bug'em? Do you want to lose a foot? So that you have to stumble your way down? I'm sure you could still manage going forward without a foot or a leg even. You only need one.
Alright, onwards we go then. And I keep going onwards until we get to the tripwires. And then
You
I'll
approach one within a few steps.
stop and kind of turn around and say, "Be careful! I have just noticed that there are traps."
Traps.
Yes, I saw the glimmer of with getting close, the light.
Oh, are you sure they are traps?
No, actually, I am not.
Hmm?
Should we set one off to? Groton, what else do you think they could be?
I'm not sure. I'm just. Perhaps we should not be afraid of them until we know we should be. I'd say we all back, except for you, and then you touch it, and then we'll know if we should be wary.
I think that is a very good observation, Gruten.
Just quick question before anything else happens. Are we in a wider corridor now, or are we still in a corridor where we can only get by like 2 by 2? Apart from me.
It's still about 2 by 2.
Oh, brilliant. This is going to be so well. Because I can't defend anybody. I am at the back.
The prince says, trial and error, yes. Excellent as always, Grutton. Yes, we know not if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Buggum, what is it you see exactly? Is it one of those petals on the floor, or a strange lever, or is it shiny? Do you see something shiny?
Well, my lord, it's more like a wire that can be tripped. So if you walk into it, it snaps, and then most likely something is triggered from that.
Oh, did you not hear? I won't be, but you can go ahead if you like.
Right. No, I was saying that is what would happen if someone was so foolish. Okay. In that case, if you back off a little bit, and I'm going to like back off as far away as I can from the trap, and then smack the tripwire, the closest tripwire, with my torch.
I would like to say it is taking all of my self-control to not, up until this point, push Buggum into one. It has taken all of my self-control. I was so planning to, but then Gruten said his thing, and I was like, oh, good. Okay, I don't have to be the villain here. Yeah, good. We'll just make him do it. Otherwise, I was so gonna push him into one.
Noted. Marvelous.
Amazing.
You strike out with your the haft of your torch, and it catches the twine, yanks on it. And there's immediately a very distant, echoing ding, 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 tingle of a bell sound echoing somewhere from deep within one of the holes in the wall. Sort of rings out and then chimes, bouncing gently, getting softer and softer as the sound fades. There's silence for a moment.
Well, it's one of them wind chimes that you find in the royal gardens.
So it was not a trap.
Silence is broken by sort of a wet, plopping sound, also emanating from one of the tunnels. Then another, then a moan, then a dusty, coughing growl of sorts. And you see all around you, as the holes begin to birth strange limbs, forms, faces, zombies, crawling undead, pouring out from the holes in the walls all around you. You find that there are 3 in front, 3 behind, slipping out from the wall, tumbling, crawling out, standing to meet your gaze, lurching forward with hungry, gnashing teeth and dead, soulless eyes.
I'm sorry, Groton, what did you say?
We could have been, the smart party. No, this is a trap. We should avoid it. But what do we do? What do we do?
We torture Buggum and we get screwed again.
Can I turn back time with omens?
What if we spend all our omens?
Oh, frick.
In a weird mechanical sense, the number of zombies piling out of the wall is randomly generated. You could spend an omen to re-roll one of the dice used to roll it. I won't tell you what those dice are, and I won't tell you if it's in your favor or not, because it could end up being more of them.
Look, all I'll say is, maybe they'll listen to me. Maybe, maybe not. It's a roll of the die, but I don't know. I don't know if we want to re-roll that.
Well, I have no omens,
we don't know.
So.
I was about to say, we don't know where we're at. We don't know whether he said 3 in front and 3 behind. That could be all of them. It could just be 6. But they could also be 28. We just don't know.
I am not a gambler. I don't feel comfortable re-rolling that one.
As the lot of you stand there wondering what to do, mouths agape, Sponge, one of them behind, lunges to bite into your flesh. I need a defense roll from you.
Amazing. Ooh. Oh, I am gonna happily use an omen to change that because that was a 7.
We've started, boys. We started.
Here we go.
And it was a 7 again. Doesn't matter.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's meant to be.
Double
Incredible.
down.
The zombie bites into you, trying to find purchase with its claws and teeth. Unfortunately, your armor is simply too thick for the thing, and it sort of slumps off ineffectively, just rubbing dusty, wet, sloppy, just filth and detritus onto you, almost breaking itself apart as this decrepit thing just sort of smashes into you.
I feel like at that point I sort of like shrug it off, like kick it off my leg, and go, oh, the gardeners are real disgusting.
Question: are we in combat yet, or can we still do things before it officially starts?
They've seized initiative. We are in combat.
Okay, good to know.
That zombie is going to pass it off to one of its zombie friends.
Oh,
Sponge, please again, if you would, being the rear.
It's
At least
good that we
Prince is
put you in the
welcome
back.
It is actually. This would have been the prince if it hadn't been me.
And it's good that we put Boogum in the front.
Yeah, we're safe.
I mean, we'll see.
To be fair, this would have worked either way, because if Sponge had been in the front, he would not have seen all of the tripwires. He would have just walked through them.
Or,
Yeah,
All right. This time, the zombie does find some purchase and manages to deal 2 damage,
good lord.
which I think will just be mitigated by your shield and armor anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's mitigated by the armor, so even if it was like coming up behind me, it's yeah.
Marvelous.
Oh.
Yes, the second zombie and then the third sort of slam into you, but you being so broad, taking up space, just sort of like shove the wall of undead and hold them there in position. And at that point, they will pass the initiative to you.
My lord, these people are very enthusiastic. I think they might be your fans.
No fans of mine, Sponge. My fans would be much less revolting, I should think.
You hear that? You're all disgusting. And I think if they're like all on me, apart from the one that I shrugged off, the 2 that are like directly on me, can I just like bear hug them and crush them? Just like full on, just gather them round and just crush them?
Incredible. Go ahead and just roll strength for me.
20.
Yeah.
Yes. You
That could
you
be me. That could be me.
roll me a d4 and double it.
That could be all of us.
3, so 6 altogether. Just
Six.
you are offending the prince.
You crush one of them immediately into just like dust and bone, and it sort of like bursts in a clatter of just like gray spatter everywhere. The other is in terrible shape as well. And that seems to have worked a treat.
And then I will hand off to. I'll hand off to the prince, as he was the person directly behind me.
Very good, Sponge. Carry on with that, and you two, you'll place a hand on Sven and Groten's shoulders, respectively. See what you can do about this lot in the front here. We do need to carry on, and they're upsetting our advance.
Is he giving us inspiration?
He's giving you an order.
Is it inspiration?
Not hardly.
The prince uses his omen to reduce all difficulties by 4.
If the prince had
you're
omens,
so
he would
generous,
not be,
Prince.
he would not be a bloody, beaten, living corpse.
He would also not use them on us.
Yeah.
No.
Too true.
Is that him passing the initiative to one of the other two.
Yes, you will pass initiative to Sven.
Okay. I would very much like to take my chances with my crucifix again. I don't know if we'll say that depending on what I roll, I can affect more than one of them, or if it's only gonna be one of them at a time. If I try it, if it even succeeds, you know?
Yeah, go ahead and what is your presence modifier?
2 + 2.
Noted. So intent on sort of putting these creatures in their place.
Yeah.
You've already sort of like been holding your crucifix forward aloft at the ready, and you sort of stand firm, plant your feet, and raise it even further, thrusting it out. You say anything out to the undead around you?
Yeah, I'll say, stand back, the void is waiting for us.
The darkness around you for a moment grows even darker. The shadows becoming more black than black, more devoid of light than any shadow has a right to be. The torch sort of like flickers down to a small ember for a moment as Finn's words kind of echo in a shrill, just sort of mist of sound. And all of the undead for a moment sort of stop and bow their heads and sort of make way on either side of the tunnel. Some of them sort of scurrying halfway back into the tunnels that they crawled out from, their heads lowered.
She gives a little bow to the prince behind her and says like, my prince, we can continue and Sponge can deal with the others as we go.
Very good.
I'll hand it over to
There's no need to hand over. You have effectively caused all the zombies to surrender.
Oh, cool. I hand it over to no one, bitches.
My lord, I was going to do something similar. Just so you know.
Yes, I'm quite sure. I should expect nothing less, Croton.
Sven, underneath her breath, very, very silently says, bootlicker.
We must make haste. Don't touch the wires, bug him this time.
Yes. No. My bad.
I'm gonna carry the other one that's in my arms. The one that got obliterated, but the one that's still in my arms is still in my arms.
All right. It does not seem to like that, but it also it still sort of is like doing its best to keep its head lowered, but it is kind of like squirming a little bit.
Amazing. Got myself a pet.
Yeah, it does sort of like try to like chew on your breastplate every now and then, just kind of at it. But it
drooling on it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's teething.
In the presence of your like overwhelming brawn, this thing is basically a pet to Sponge.
I do just give like the most uneasy like grin to the like head bowed zombies as we pass by. Just like, yes, the void must want us there.
In that case, I carry on forwards. Torch. Yes, oh, watch out! There's another one here. And stepping over tripwire.
Yeah, you have an almost perfect idea of where they all are, having now sort of deciphered like what is required to spot them. You have no difficulty identifying their position and sort of like carefully moving around. And it turns out there is ample room to sort of duck and maneuver.
Yeah.
But only because of your very keen eye.
Well, Yeah, we saw the tripwires. We just decided to push one to see if we could kick the bug'em a little bit more, I guess. And every now and then, as I like step over one, I like pause halfway over and I just go,
just in case.
yeah, just in case.
I have to ask, am I, like, is there any chance of me actually avoiding these?
Yes. As I said, the room is pretty ample.
Look at Sebastian doubting, actually.
Yeah,
He said
it's
yes,
like-
but there is a no in his heart.
It's like, but he is a big lad.
Because I am massive and I've got a massive chair on my back and I am ungainly with carrying a zombie that is trying to get out my arms. I'm very aware of how zombie I am.
Yeah, you have set yourself up for a number of burdens. You, with instruction, you know where they are, but the getting around them portion is perhaps a bit difficult. Go ahead and give me an agility test.
I'll tell you what this feels like. I'll tell you what exactly this feels like. It feels like Sebastian being like, with my ability, being like, oh great, I can let them avoid this unnecessary combat. They can go forward to the goal. Like, I'm giving this as a gift. And then us asking, hey, do we fuck up again? And Sebastian feel like, damn, I gave you... Don't make me.
I gave you an out.
To be fair, I gave you nothing. That was well earned.
Yeah. It was a 9.
It was a 9.
Okay.
Use an omen. No. No.
You want to use an omen?
I mean, last time
lower the difficulty by 4. That might do it.
I don't know if this changes thing, but I would also imagine that we are like watching as Sponge moves and like maybe just holding them up a bit as he's passing. I don't know if
I
that
love
changes
Grit
anything.
doing that.
I don't want this to happen again.
Maybe that's the reason why I get rid of the zombie, is just because he's about to kick something and I'm like, oh, for God's sake, you're in the way, and just hang him on a torch lamp or something. Oh, God.
You find no such adornment, but you could certainly just sort of stuff him into one of the smaller holes.
Yeah, but like
just sort of like
fold him
legs
like
and
a
arms
pretzel.
out dangling.
Yeah.
pat him on the head.
Truly, like just absolutely like a piece of paper, just like push him from the midriff and watch him fold around my arm. For God's sake, you're in the way.
Coincidentally, the one hole where you tripped the wire and a zombie was gonna come out, you stuffed this one in there, effectively trapping them.
All the tripwire does is push out one tiny spike that comes out like a few feet, and you just go, oh, slot. And just like slot the zombie on it and keep moving.
Oh, great, a zombie hook.
I would say with everyone directing Sponge, it is cumbersome. It certainly slows the momentum of the party. But it is possible to sort of navigate around the tripwires.
Okay, cool. Just that. In which case, that roll was just how dexterously I do it, and the answer is not at all.
Yeah, I would say the consequence there is that for a good while, like the pace of the party is drastically slowed.
Like a toddler trying to get through a laser maze.
Like, yeah, you are advancing about 10 feet every minute.
Amazing. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hold on, net. Sorry.
Lift your leg up more. Here.
I can't. Thank you, Groton.
Anyone who wishes may make a presence test.
I mean, I'm up front. I'm paying attention. I'm paranoid.
I mean, if you're offering,
I rolled a 4.
7.
A 22 if you're offering,
I am not rolling a presence test. I am too focused on what I'm doing.
Fair enough. Svind, sort of like watching, probably rather agitatedly, as Groton and the prince sort of maneuver Sponge around. You can hear very faintly, echoing from the way you came, more of the sort of like clattering of hatchets on shields and cheers and whoops and hollers and singing kind of every now and then just sort of rising into a crescendo and then dying off. Rising into a crescendo of hollers and whoops and then dying off. And each crescendo gets slightly louder.
Like they're in the tunnel?
Or getting near it.
Oh
Certainly.
god. um I just say kind of urging Bugum on since he's first. I just say we should really make haste. We do not want to miss the hunt now, do we? Go on then, Bugum. Make haste.
But we're waiting for...
Make haste.
And I am just going to start jumping and skipping and ducking and everything underneath. I'm gonna speed up and I'm just gonna go.
Eventually...
Sponge, this is a little game. You have to keep up with us and not hit anything. You can do that, right? It starts
sure.
now.
Okay.
Eventually, although your pace is slowed, you do make your way to what feels like the near end of the hall, at which point you can see a light at the end of the tunnel. A sort of like a great yellow glow emanating from some chamber at the end of this.
I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not, because
Right.
the other option is to stop, which means that Svind gets closer to me. Like, I don't care. I don't know or care about the hunt. Svind is getting closer to me. I'm going to keep going.
Closer with cleaver in hand. Bugum, you sort of emerge first. The further you go, closer towards this glowing chamber, the fewer the tripwires become, the more ample the room to maneuver, the faster you are able to sort of like pick up speed and momentum, and you find yourself entering this great stone-domed chamber, largely empty, the walls mostly hewn and smooth, in the center of which is an enormous great creature, tall, shadowy, lanky, standing atop sort of raised surface, surrounded by black iron lanterns. This creature, very tall, lumbering, almost reaching the ceiling of this great chamber, sort of lurches down with the face of a rancid, decrepit horse corpse, perhaps a jackal or a wolf, some strange toothed thing with dozens and dozens of eyes all staring directly at you, forming first on its face, then winding back into its shadowy, cloaked form, all unblinking, all staring at your direction.
I raise both of my arms to kind of like shoulder height and put them out in front of me and go, and just start like shambling forward slightly in a kind of like way, kind of, you know, just trying to seem like I'm aimlessly wandering, like I'm a zombie.
The thing,
oh god,
with its enormous sort of grotesque grin, sort of smiles in a way at you, and nods a little. A fine impression you make, though is it all that necessary given your condition?
Oh, bugger. Hello. No, but I am dead, right? So...
It sort of nods, grinning even wider, even though the flesh on its cheeks is rotted and gone. Somehow it still manages an even more wry grin.
Don't worry. Everyone else will be here soon. Should probably wait for them, yes?
mean, I'm definitely like, I'm assuming that the pathway through the tunnel in here, like I would stand in there and not necessarily walk out, but I would watch this because I would not enter seeing that fucking thing.
Noted.
I'll
All right.
enter.
Sure. So Gruten sort of waits at the door. The prince kind of bumps into your back and, what? And Svind sort of marches on in. Bugum and Svind, you can see now, after a moment, that in this chamber, to the right as you enter is sort of what looks like a passage that's been caved in and has sort of a great mound of stone and rubble around its entrance. But you also spy two other exits on the left far side of the chamber. Other sort of doorways, just openings into other halls. The creature regards you as you enter, Svid. You see its many eyes already fixed upon you, locked, meeting your gaze. And Groten, the same is true of you, simultaneously standing there in the hall. You can see all its many eyes staring at you. Each of you see all its eyes staring at you.
Oh, that's the weirdest treasure I've ever seen.
I doubt this is treasure. Might be the guardsman, but it might be best left for Bugum here. My lord, it's probably safer if we stay here, no?
Yes, at least for a moment, perhaps, until we see what this is about. Perhaps your Bugum and Svind can see if it's safe. Sponge, why don't you stand in front of us?
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. As I walk by, there's like a little tear rolling down my eye because I feel like there was about to be a battle because Groton said maybe it was the guards, and I was like, all right, I'm here. And then he was like, oh, well, let Bugum do it. And I'm like, oh, I've been replaced by Bugum. Oh, oh God.
As Sven comes in as well, I'll go, oh, I'm sorry, didn't realize you had company. Don't want to be a third wheel. Which way is the exit? This way? Kind of pointing to one of the out places. And just start walking towards it and kind of like, don't want to be a bother, you know, just carry on with whatever you're doing. Everything's, yes.
The creature, its eyes sort of follow you along as you leave, but it makes no motion to stop you.
Oh.
Hardly makes any motion at all.
That might be more worrying. Okay. I don't know which door I'm going to. I'm walking
Do you want
towards
to
the closest
leave, Bugum?
one.
Do you want to leave?
Well, this is your thing, right? This is
No,
what
you're
what you were
looking for our thing. Unless...
Well, I just assumed that this was the person that you were looking for, the one that's been talking to you. I thought I'd give you some privacy and, carry on.
How presumptuous of you
Yes, it's...
to think you know anything about me or who I have been talking to.
Well, you did mention that someone
Take
was...
another step towards the door, Bugum, and you'll see. She turns to the creature. Are you the way that we can get someone back from the dead?
I thought perhaps you might ask. And there are certainly many ways to do such a thing, depending on how you view life and death. Your prince, for instance, has seen better days, but he does seem rather spry for now.
Yes,
Can
for
I
now.
interest you in a lantern? And he'll spread his hands sort of wide, his many twitching, wriggling fingers like the legs of crabs sort of scuttling around, fingering gently his dozens and dozens of lanterns at his feet.
Can I do in some way do a little follow my instinct thing of like, my instinct is to take one, but
Sure, you can reach out and try to take one.
well,
What would you like to do?
sure.
Okay,
I'm just following my faith, baby. I'm
that's fine.
trying to
As-
follow my faith, so
As a sidebar, as Svind was like turned to talk to him, Bugum started to like sidle as subtly as possible, but then he was like, "There are
you
ways."
feel it,
Wait,
and
wait.
then you feel a rat. Oh wait.
But before he goes very far, the weird, many-eyed creature, horse creature thing, is like, "There's many ways to come back from death," and he's like,
Oh yeah.
he like stops with his like foot in the air
Yeah.
partially, and then is
Yeah.
like brings it back, steps down, is like interesting, and is just like now listening.
Bundy is looking very confused as to why anybody would need to come back from the dead.
Yes, everyone's
What-
well, no, you know the Bugum's alive
Yeah.
dead at least.
They're talking about Bugum.
Yeah.
Silly.
You reach down to grab the lantern.
Well, yeah, I'll say before I will take one, but I will say, would this help persuade you to help us?
Oh, I am not interested in helping anyone. I am interested in bargains, deals, contracts.
Yep. This is the demon.
And as you reach out to grab the lantern, you take hold of its ring at the top and pull, and it is affixed to the ground, unmoving. And the creature sort of leans its great face down ever slightly. Says, "These are for trade, if you would like one."
Hey, you know what? Fuck it. Someone in the group has to do it. We can't just pass by
Oh.
here and not take one.
No,
We can't.
100%. Because Bugum's going to be like, you mentioned deals, trades, bargains, contracts.
The thing's head sort of swivels in your direction a little bit. Yes, its hands sort of clacking together. It's too many fingers. Sort of, it's dozens of hands just wriggling about. Sort of, yes. We are always ready to make a deal.
Your starting pitch is not filling me with confidence, but what sort of deals or offers are there? What are we talking about here?
There is much that can be offered. What is it you desire, Bugum?
Well, ever since I found myself with an arm ripped off and a hand cut off, and then a hand stapled to me, and bleeding to death because a rug bit my arm off, and brought back somehow, I get the explicit sense that this situation is not going to last for very long. Yes.
It stands there silently, waiting for you to finish.
Yes, right. And so, I am wondering what my options are to make the current situation either reversible or more permanent.
I see. You do not wish to return to death. Is that correct?
Honestly, I was barely there. It didn't seem that interesting, and I have things I have to finish. So I would very much like to continue on for a little while, if possible.
I see. It is such a wonderful night, so full of possibilities and festivities. Could I perhaps interest you in a lantern?
Maybe we should focus on what sort of deal is available as opposed to lighting. I do have a torch and kind of wave it.
Can I, don't mean to interrupt, could I please, for the first time in my possibly Sponge's entire existence, roll a, would it be presence as like a trying to hark back to a memory?
Go for it. Absolutely.
Oh no.
To, 15.
Oh god. Can you omen it and make it lower?
Can we botch it?
Can
Can we botch it?
Yes, you may botch it. That is perfectly allowable.
I only have one though.
Here,
Mine
take
is
one of my
young.
omens. I have 4.
Then we'll lower it by 4. That was a 15. But I want to remember as much as I can about the hunt of St. Ossa
Oh, okay.
and what was whether there was any specific references to this specific entity or any references to lanterns.
Marvelous.
Hey, and I lowered that. Oopsie. We all thought something else was gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
So you also lowered the DC?
No, if I can take it back, I'll take it back. I thought he was gonna roll to see if he remembered like something about the prince and him finding out the prince was dead.
Gotcha.
Oh no.
Yeah, we really thought that.
Sure.
Well and truly not going to. The prince, as far as he is concerned, is well and truly alive.
Okay, then no, I'm not gonna botch anything.
That's fair enough. Don't waste your omens. Good lord, we're probably going to need them.
Mm-hmm.
Sponge, in your dealings with St. Os's Knight, in your time serving with mercenary bands and soldier outfits and various ragtag groups, you are aware that St. Os's Knight is a knight to be on high alert, on high guard. It's a knight to be wary of the undead, for they will be roaming. Some more cognizant than others, some more violent than others. You have never, until tonight, heard of a thing called the St. Os's Knight Hunt.
Okay.
That is an entirely new thing to you. And you spent quite a lot of time in the feast hall with the prince, and you heard many murmurings from the guests there, sort of in passing, them talking about perhaps this will be the year. Perhaps this time we'll appease our lord and we'll finish off that beast. Perhaps this year will be the one.
Oh, they're gonna hunt this thing. They summoned a demon to hunt, and there's whether Sponge is gonna realize that is another question. I suppose he probably would.
It's
There was
hunting.
one other
I mean,
strange detail that stood out, though.
Yeah.
it is hunting, so it might make sense.
Yeah.
You
Good.
did keep referring to the beast as she, her.
Grutton, you know
Yes.
this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it might be a woman?
Maybe. I'm not seeing why that's relevant.
Well, you see, some of the people upstairs. Oh, jeez, they are getting loud, aren't they? Some of the people upstairs were talking about finally having done the big thing in, the big beastie in, and they called her a she. And I was wondering whether this was the beastie, because it's possible. It does look like something that could do a lot of running.
Perhaps. I'm not sure what option that. I mean, we can't really fight this thing, can we? Oh, sorry, you.
I mean, it'd be interesting.
I mean, you have my full support. But,
Well, thanks, Groton. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just think that maybe it was something to do with that. No, it's real weird. It's got so many like lanterns on its feet, isn't it?
and their eyes, they're staring at me.
Oh yeah, there's eyes all over it.
Have you noticed it's staring at me? It's so weird.
Oh yeah, it's like wherever one of them paintings wherever I move, it's looking at me.
I don't trust it.
Do you reckon if you snapped off one of them fingers, it'd taste really good with dip?
No. It depends on what dip, I suppose.
Can I?
Groton suddenly thinking, perhaps I could concoct a dip that would taste good with demon finger.
I got a book on Melchioth from the library, and I got to go through that a bit. Could I roll a presence or anything else to see if I remember anything about lanterns or stuff, specifically connected to Melchioth? Because I know he's a demon of, or they are a demon of bargaining. So, yeah.
Certainly. Yeah, you also know that the book referred to Melchioth as he very frequently.
But I don't know that you guys are talking about a she.
Absolutely.
Also, we've got to remember
go ahead and
demonologists and misogynists, so... Good old demonology.
It's probably true. But this is MÖRK BORG, and we don't have room for that. The world's bad enough as it is. Go ahead and make me a presence test.
Oh, I'm spend an omen to reroll that because I got a 6 only.
I'm for a 5.
Ugh. This is pretty important. Fuck it. I have spent 2 on them. I have a 15 now.
Okay. Yeah, rummaging through, there was something about black fire lanterns. Lanterns that could summon temporarily the black flame, which has a number of strange magical properties to it.
I mean, I guess a lantern's better than a torch, so if you're just giving them out, I could probably just,
You would trade one light for another.
If you want my torch, you can have it. It's not even mine, technically, but I think it's okay to give it to you.
Bug'em, you better not get rid of my torch.
Ah, that's unfortunate timing.
Watching Bug'em slowly try to
Yeah,
like, hey!
That's mine. How dare you?
I'm afraid I don't have any other lights, unfortunately.
What else might you be willing to trade?
Oh, okay. Well, I do have some food, some water. And I'm gonna start rummaging a little bit. Made more difficult by the fact that the hand doesn't really listen to me very often, and it isn't even probably attached to me. I think I have I had 10 nails, but now it's 8. So, but there is a hammer in here. A small saw. It has been used to cut off someone's hand, but not mine. So, I believe there is a drill in it. Oh, there it is. Yes, a small drill, kind of a hand crank drill, and that type of thing. And a hammer.
Bug'em,
Yes.
do you want some advice on what you could offer so you could get your lantern?
Sphinx. That's so kind of you. Of course.
Perhaps a symbolic bargain is one you would like very much, Melkia. How about if Bugum here wants one of your lanterns? He gives up a way that he also carries light in him. He can offer up his left eye to you. A way he perceives light. Symbolic. Would you accept such a trade?
And
Those are delicious terms. Bagum, what say you of this arrangement?
which eye?
You can choose.
Okay.
You can choose if you like.
For a lantern.
And now you're getting stared at by both Svind and this creature.
Yeah, no, like, at this point, Bugum's kind of, like, looking off to the side slightly and being like, please stop staring at me, both of you. I'm not sure which one's creepier.
Definitely Svind.
Yeah.
I am sure it is worth it, Bugum.
You seek what salvation the manor can offer you, do you not?
Possibly? Really depends what that means. That could be lots of things, to be honest.
Yes, the night is ever so full of possibilities.
Would... Oh, okay. So... To be extremely clear, what I am looking for is either a return to life. Clearly, this body has seen better days. Possibly with arms back attached and usable, as opposed to taped on with wood.
You are very resourceful, Bagum. I have great faith in your abilities to find some way.
Right. So...
Now, is there an eye you would not mind trading?
This is your way to salvation, Bugum.
I don't know what salvation means, Sven. It could just be putting me up on that bloody wheel upstairs. I don't particularly want to go up there and spin around.
You might even be able to walk out of this.
The creature, sort of having been lurching towards the two of you for a while, stands back at its full height, puts its hands together and says, "And Svind, would you be willing to trade something of equal measure that you have suggested so kindly for Bagum here?"
Not for Bugum. Question. Just to be clear for myself, this does not sound like the voice that I heard before, right?
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Mhm.
I didn't know. Okay,
Oh, yes.
I didn't know.
It was definitely the demon.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, this is the thing that has been sort of like whispering at you.
Okay, I didn't know. Well then. I'll say. Bugum can make whatever trade he wishes to. I merely helped him give something valuable enough so that it isn't a waste of your time. Bugum would be foolish to decline it. However, for myself, I do not want to offer something as useless as an eye. No, I will offer you my left hand, but not just cut it up and give it to you. It is yours to use, yours to control. Yours to have.
An interesting proposal. So be it. The deal is done. And your left hand turns rot black immediately and lunges out to grab one of the lanterns. The moment its fingers retch around the ring handle, it lifts up and a black flame whoosh erupts from its interior. Now just sort of a dark, flickering, sort of anti-light that seems to dim all things around it. As you hold it in your hand, you feel yourself become immediately somewhat numb to certain sensations around you. You no longer feel the perception of heat and cold the way you once did. These are distant things, numb things, far away, removed feelings. As you hold the lantern, your now rot black left hand.
Grutton, is that thing the void?
I don't believe the void is a person that way.
Oh, it's just Sven seems very appreciative of the everything that's going on there.
Yes. I don't want to say that was a mistake, but we do have a lantern now.
Yeah, but it's not very good at the light bit of the lantern, is it?
No. I feel like I can see less.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I like her new glove, though.
Hi.
What are your return policies? As in, if
Don't make me cut out your eye, Buggum. I would so delight in it.
right, well, it's just an eye, isn't it? Sure. I would very happily. I'm really not completely. I'm assuming that at this point I've made the deal by saying sure, like, okay. And I'm really not exactly explicit on what exactly the lantern is supposed to do, but
You're not sure.
however, yes, you have a deal. Do I have to take out the eye, or is this something that you take? I'm very unclear exactly as to the.
If you would allow, I can extract it for you.
Painlessly?
This one's just for you, Bagam.
Very kind of you. Alright then. And I just take a lantern, do I?
Yeah, you sort of step forward, and the creature, as you step forward, its great maw sort of swallows around you for a moment, and then sort of spits you back out. You are no worse for wear. Your left eye is gone, and with it, the vision.
That was incredibly uncomfortable.
But devoid of pain.
Yes, it did not hurt. That is part of what the okay. And just any of these lanterns. Yes.
Whichever you choose, you may take your pick of one.
Oh, more
There
choice.
are so many.
Yes. Are there any difference between them?
Not particularly. They all seem to be unique, but only in that, like, they're just black iron lanterns.
Could I please roll to see if I can pick one better than Sven's?
Oh, baby, I didn't need to pick one. It picked me.
Well, that doesn't matter. If mine's better than yours, it's still better than yours. That's
Define
what I'm going
better.
for.
Yeah, metric of better, like in like less sort of banged up, in better shape, more polished.
More
Better.
polished, just a bit prettier, you know, a bit more fancy, you know.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a d10.
Okay. 7. Wow.
Out of the bunch, they all seem fairly uniform in that regard, and you don't see one that seems particularly better than Sven's.
Oh.
As you sort of root and rummage, the creature turns to those of you standing in the doorway. Doesn't say anything, but just sort of looks in your direction, big grin across its face. And behind you, you lot still in the tunnel can hear the slowly growing sound of the occasionally rising crescendo of cheers, hoops, hollers, and hatchets, banging, hollering, shouting, echoing from the corridor behind you.
Oh, look, the party's come to join us.
I feel like perhaps we should enter the room. I feel like we've been here a bit too long.
Okay, my lord, we're going into the room now. Now, don't be intimidated. The big puppy is nothing to be afraid of.
Yes, of course. I'm not afraid. Never even heard of the word.
I tend to Groton and very obviously like cover my mouth, and I'm just like, Groton, do you think that thing could make the prince better again?
Yeah, probably, but also worse.
Oh, don't want him any worse. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Perhaps you can inquire.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hold on a minute. Excuse me, madam. I'm walking. Excuse me, madam.
Melkioth.
Yeah. Melkiosk. Why are you here?
I am here to fulfill my end of a bargain and to trade for lanterns. Would
you do?
care to trade for a lantern? There are
I've got a
so
torch.
many.
I got a torch.
And we already have a lantern, don't we? I don't think we need another one. Sponge, do you?
We've got two, technically speaking.
Aye.
Do you think it is not worth it, Grayton?
I look at your hand.
Marvelous.
No, I mean, you'll be able to light up our way.
This isn't about lighting.
My lord, do these lanterns look like things that might be able to be treasure for you?
I rather doubt it, Sponge.
In which case it's useless, isn't it?
Yes, it's not exactly what I pictured when I envisioned a vault of gems and treasure and the like.
Excuse me, Melkiosk. Where's the treasure?
You seek the Manor's vault, do you not?
Yeah?
Yes, filled with promised gems and treasure riches.
Well, it already belongs to the prince, so we're just taking it back, really.
I see. How good of you.
Thanks.
It stands there grinning, its fingers gently clacking.
As I was just rocking backwards and forwards on my heels and toes and just being like, so...
You wouldn't happen to know where that is?
I am relegated to this chamber, it seems, for the duration of the festivities. I have not had the pleasure of exploring the rest of the manor.
Oh, it's terrible being regulated like that.
But I suppose, having already seen the upstairs, there are only so many places to go.
Yeah,
Would
but what about those
any of
guys?
you care to trade for a lantern?
What does the lantern actually do?
A fine question, Sponge. I
That's
am
my name.
delighted that you ask. Yes, you haven't given it, but it does know it.
I noticed that too.
Of course, she knows my name.
It is a lantern of black flame. To hold it is to become impervious.
To
To many things. The black flame consumes much. To hold it today would make one null to heat, cold. Tomorrow, who's to say? The day after that, the black flame consumes many things, all things.
I lean into Groton and say, I knew Buggum was a bit pervious.
that's yes. So one has to hold it, not just vicinity-wise.
One must be in possession of the lantern, yes.
Gretchen, are you honestly doubting? Who is to say there is a tomorrow?
Well, I
So
hope there is
true,
tomorrow.
Sven. So true. The end is always arriving.
I don't know if this helps, Glutton. I don't feel particularly more pervious.
You were always a bit pervious. I'm surprised at you, though, Vind.
You always seek knowledge, don't you? Well then, seek knowledge.
I have one more inquiry. What if two people hold one lantern?
You are ever so clever, Gurten. It is a refreshing thing to see from a mortal from time to time.
That's not a no. Do you want to come and hold my lantern, Groton?
Yes. I will walk up to Buggum and carefully touch his lantern.
Careful, it's hot.
Oh,
How do
It's
I
actually
feel?
not. It's the exact
I
opposite.
know I'm lying.
Yeah.
Perfectly lukewarm.
it's perfect.
Yeah. Maximally tepid.
It's kind of pleasant.
Buggum, at this point, I have to ask you, do you permit the lantern to have an effect on Gruten as well as yourself? Or do you wish it only to affect you?
Okay. We're going into Buggum's mind for a second. Sponge terrifies him because he is a loose cannon. Not in the same way that Sven terrifies him. If it was a question of Sven could go to hell. No offense, Sven, but come on now. Groton is probably the closest thing Buggum has to an ally, in the sense that they had a conversation together in the torture chamber, and it wasn't horrific. Also, there is a slight thought of, if there is any type of like rollback or side effects, I will also share that. So it's partially like, yeah, you know what? I kind of don't hate Groton, at least as much as everyone else. But also, maybe if I suffer some kind of horrible fate, he's gonna suffer it too, and, you know, misery loves company. So I'm going to say I will be okay with sharing. I wasn't aware everyone was so happy about the Groton Bugum ship. Suddenly a party as soon as Groton reaches out and touches the lantern. It's like, woo, yeah!
Yes, Groton, as you reach out and touch the lantern, you feel sort of an immediate disassociation between some of your senses. Again, that feeling as though your ability to perceive heat and chill are far, far, far away from your actual body.
I'm so glad Bugum didn't know we drugged him, or I drugged him.
No idea. It didn't even kick in before it wore off.
Yeah, I'll try to compose myself, but yeah, this is definitely strange. I'll try to understand what is happening to me. Like, I'm kind of not lost, but like I'm focusing on like what is happening to my senses, I guess.
Focusing in, you go ahead and give me a presence test.
7.
It's very hard to explain. It just feels like an absence suddenly. Like the lantern is just sort of creating empty space where senses used to be.
Well, it appears to work. Not sure if that's a good thing though, but I do have my eye.
Oh, that's good then.
Also means that when I have to open a door, you're going to have to open it with me.
I guess so, yes.
I look at Svin's hand, realize that it's not a glove, and like sort of like go to reach out to it, and then look at Svin's face and be like, no, I'm good. I'm alright. I'm not gonna. That's a really stupid idea.
Oh,
do you say something? Okay.
Sponge.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and take a lantern and make a bargain for it to protect the prince? Because if you don't have one, then are you going to protect the prince?
Damn it, Svin.
I'm sorry, I had to. With all of the motherly things and Sponge being like used to following Svin's orders.
Yeah, he sort of takes a moment and he's like, well, because the first thing that actually happens in Sponge's head is ego. He's like, well, of course I can protect the prince. I'm huge. Like that is sort of standard thing. He's like, oh, what are you on about this for? Oh no, but then saying that, if I couldn't feel any pain, not that anyone's hurt me in a long time, but if I couldn't feel pain, that might make things a little bit easier.
You swore to do everything to protect the prince, didn't you? I was there when you did.
My lord, do you want me to pick up one of these lanterns? It means I won't be able to carry a shield. Apparently, it'll make me an even stronger ongerer.
Really?
That's what
Well,
they
if you
said.
were
Well,
stronger,
that's
then
what
that
Finn
would
said.
make me stronger.
Yeah, right.
Perhaps it's worth a shot then.
Okay,
So
or
does anyone else hear that? The prince will sort of turn back to the tunnel from whence you came, and the hooping and hollering is slowly increasing in volume. becoming clearer and clearer.
Melkiosk, your great voidness. What's that? Why are they all coming this way?
It sounds as though the hunt has begun.
What is
I
it?
presume they will be here soon.
What? They're gonna hunt in this tiny room?
They will go that way. And he points towards one of the halls on the left side of the room.
Oh, right, okay. That must be where the hunt goes in.
So we should go in the other direction, yes?
What's down the other direction?
So there are two doors on the left side of this chamber from whence you came in. On the right side is a heap of rubble, just stacked like great stones where a hall likely was but caved in. And then there's the way you came.
Well,
Which is full of all them horrible fans of the prince.
I will add in here. I'll ask, Valen, do you not want to take a lantern as a player? Because then I won't push on this.
Oh, no. Sponge is just completely getting distracted.
Okay, yeah,
There's
because
too many things going on for Sponge to keep one thought process going. He genuinely has no, like, I would do whatever Sponge wants to do. I don't have like player override or anything like that. It's purely down to Sponge just being like, oh look, there's a thing. Oh look, there's another thing. Oh, look,
if I know this,
look.
then Sven is kind of like irritated that Sponge isn't immediately doing what was asked of him, not just from her, but from the prince as well. And that irritation combined with like the fact that she's like fully into whatever is happening here, she will walk like a few steps towards Sponge and slap him in the face. And say, Sponge, get yourself together. Do you want to disappoint the prince? Do you want to disappoint me? You don't, right? No.
There's a moment. When she says the prince, I'm like, oh god, no. Anyway, do you want to disappoint me? I go, because in comparison to the prince, it doesn't matter.
Kind of buried the lead there.
Then take the lantern.
Oh, all right, okay. Right then, the big voidness. You void? Yeah. Okay, that's all right. That's right, isn't it? Svind? Void. I didn't realize void had a horse's face. Anyway, what do I need for the Mel kiosk? That's right. Yeah. What do I need to pick up one of these here lanterns? I'll just pick. Can I just try and pick one up without offering a bargain?
You can certainly try.
Just full on strength it. But go for it, and then what do I have to do to get one of these lanterns? They pick it up, then realize it's real heavy, and suddenly it's a challenge, and just like good.
Getting red, veins popping in his forehead.
What is it you have to trade, Sponge?
Good question. I got this bag of teeth that I stole off a mage. Oh, it's got one of Bugham's toes in it. Pulled them out myself.
I see. And you would trade this freely?
Well, apparently one of these lanterns is going to make me stronger. Is he going to make me stronger?
It is quite possible it could be of use. If you trade this, and these are your terms, then I agree, and the deal is done. And the bag, in a puff of like inky black smoke, out of your hand and into Melchior's palm, which it closes and opens, and the bag is gone.
I look over to Groton and go, sorry.
The lantern you're tugging on sort of releases in your hand and ignites.
I'm not completely happy with how often people are trading away parts of me, I'm not going to lie.
It was just in the bag.
Then
It
I
was a
demand.
bonus thing, if anything.
Didn't need it.
Debatable.
Very wanted, apparently.
Also,
Can I-
do remember Croton, who is holding on to whose lantern, yes?
Yes, apologies.
Can I put the lantern down?
Yes. Yeah, you set it down. You let it go. The flame persists, and your senses return after a moment. It feels like it's sort of a rush. It's both the sensation of like stepping out in a blizzard and warming up by a fire simultaneously as all of these things sort of like come back into focus. Suddenly you're very aware that like of all the various heat sources in the room, the torch that you had lit previously, the sort of embers of it, you feel like the distinct like shift in changes of like a shrill breeze coming up from the passages on the left of the room. It is all like coming into sort of focus as a moment as it returns to your senses.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, Jesus.
Also, should we be staying here? And kind of like pointing back towards where we came from. It does sound like we're going to be joined by a raucous party very soon.
Well, it's the prince's party, so it's not a problem.
Well, still, the further away we are from them once we discover the treasure, the better. So there's no, ruckus about that.
Oh, that is
They
true.
sound rather rowdy. Sven, may I hold your lantern? In fact, never mind. And he just holds his hand out and grabs the lantern.
I
Yes,
was
we'll-
about to offer mine, and I suddenly look a little hurt. I was like, oh.
Chin up, Sponge. You need your other hand for a weapon, don't you?
No, that's true. Do I have like the loop that I did attach my little bag on? Can I just tie the lantern to that? So it's just hanging off my belt?
Ooh.
Or do I not get the sensation unless I'm holding it?
I think you need to be holding it. I'm gonna
okay.
rules lawyer that it needs to be sort of like held.
No, that's cool. I just wanted to clarify exactly what it was, because I'd like tie it on and I'd be like, oh no, that's not working, and then like hold it again in my offhand.
You can try to untie your shoe and put it between your toes and technically hold it between your toes.
Oh no, let's be honest about this. This is Sponge. He
Monkey
bites onto
toes.
it. He just puts it in his mouth like a big bar, like a door knocker. Just out. All right, let's go.
I'll allow it. Your difficulty rating is going to go up slightly, but I'll allow it. That'll
That's
work.
very funny.
All right.
I'll also add in, as we will probably leave here. Sven is irritated at the prince holding the lantern with her. She is wise enough in this moment to not do anything or say anything about it, but this is a kind of moment where Sven is like, she would have liked him to, if he wanted something, he would have had to bargain it there, but she will just let him hold the lantern with her, but maybe at some point she might decide that it doesn't affect him. Silly. No, yeah, we'll move.
Noted.
I love this.
Contention in the ranks. Marvelous. Yeah, so before you, there's the heap of rubble to the east. There are the two halls nearly identical to the left. And the raucous sound of the approaching hunt from behind.
We
Okay. Are you coming with us, Melkiosk?
I have duties here. There are many lanterns to be traded for and passed out.
I immediately try counting the lanterns, realize that's real stupid, and go, oh, bloody hell, you'll be here forever.
Counting them genuinely sends a pang of pain through your brain.
I'm
Shouldn't
like,
think,
"What?
Sponge.
God, you're gonna be here forever.
shall
Milky
we
Elf chuckles quietly.
shall we proceed?
Aye.
I immediately
I'm-
took my torch back off Bug'em because I realized that there's no actual light coming from any of our lanterns.
Yeah. Have a fine Saint Arthur's night, all of you.
See you later, boy.
too.
Okay, that's great.
See you later.
And as we start walking off, I'm going to say, you know, Groton, that's actually rather inconsiderate of you. A simple yes would have been much better than I.
Oh. Well. You, that way.
Marvelous. You discover, going down either passage to the left, that they link after a while. The two halls are sort of one and the same, looping back and then proceeding forward down, sort of merging into one tunnel which descends. The hewn stone gives way to rough rock, stalactites, cave walls, and a blustering, fierce, hellish breeze that you do not feel.
This is real weird.
The wind is fierce, growing more sort of torrential with each and every step. Suddenly, you find that the stalactites are replaced by great pillars and columns of ice. Snow accumulates at your feet, and the wind itself sort of sounds like an immense sort of hellish shriek, sort of just whistling through this cavern. It does, however, widen out so that all of you can stand shoulder to shoulder.
Well, this is a weird place to have treasure.
Or a hunt.
Or a
He's quite right. Strange place for either.
I wouldn't hunt treasure here.
Although, the greater the peril, sometimes the more the reward. Right?
Of course. Your word is law. Well,
Yes.
Maybe if I threaten Bug'em.
I feel like I've been in enough peril already for a massive reward, so I can't wait to find out what it is.
What is everyone's pace? Cautious? Sprinting? Somewhere in between?
Bug'em would probably be wanting to go fairly brisk. But not sprinting or anything.
And I would not struggle with that, but I would, keep your pace, I guess.
And the out of breath.
We've been walking for 2 seconds. Literally 2 seconds.
Can't even quite keep up with a shambling corpse. I feel like if that's the pace that everyone's going, I feel like Sponge is skipping with lantern in full flow.
Marvelous.
Flail in one hand, lantern in the other.
Sven is
Look,
walking a bit more
treasure.
calmly with the prince.
Excellent. Behind you, you can hear, just barely over the wind, you can hear the sort of raucous hoops and hollers kind of being drowned out by this shrill whistling just gust. You hear just sort of a raucous, hey, ah! And the clattering of hatchets on shields once again. And you carry forward, step after step, each one becoming more and more sort of struggle as this gust, this billowing, just torrential wind keeps pressing down on you. Could I get strength tests from everyone?
Oh. I'm gonna have to carry Groton.
Ooh,
Oh, 11.
I struggle with that one. 12.
7.
Come on, old
Huh?
man.
13.
Okay.
Syrinx is powering through.
Yeah.
I'm getting distracted by my skipping.
The void is carrying me.
The void is carrying you in that hand.
Marvelous. You do all manage to press on. Although Gröten, you are certainly suffering the most of everyone. Your pace sort of kind of slowing to Gröten's pace as there is sort of a difficulty in going through the snow, the ice, the wind, the torrential just assailing of it all. But step by step, trudge by trudge, foot by foot, you make your way lower and lower down the spiraling cavern tunnel. Till suddenly, the wind begins to die down. The chill, numb as you are to it, you can sense sort of eases. The ice and snow giving way to a disgusting, unnerving sight. A strange portal, a gate, a sort of opening covered in a slight film, only visible due to the great mounds of wet, rotting carcass flesh pooled around it, sliding along its surface, great hunks of human meat and all sorts of flesh of all color and manner of decay, sort of heaped in great mounds around this portal. And to the other side, you can faintly see a chamber of sorts.
Reckon the treasure's through there?
Well, I don't think there's any other option of where to go here.
The other one would be to go backwards.
Aye. I mean, yes. Yes.
Everyone go ahead and make a presence test for me.
7.
3.
You and me, Sponge.
Yeah. Absolutely clueless.
Yes. 7, 3, 3, and 8. Svind, as
7,
always,
3, 3, and 8.
rolled the best.
Marvelous. Through this strange, sort of filmy portal, you see in the other chamber elaborate moldings. You see great, immaculate carvings. You see in this chamber there is an enormous container of sorts, gilded, furnished, sculpted to the umpteenth degree with finery, with great love and care. There is this great, what appears to be an enormous chest of sorts, gilded in every way imaginable, glimmering practically even through the disgusting portal that stands before you, sort of besmirching its visage. There it is. That must be the vault. That must be it beyond.
I reach into my robes, into my diminishing bundle of rats, pick one up in my hand, lower it down, and kind of usher it to go into the portal.
You set the rat down in a pool of sort of blood, sludge, bile, and fluids pooled around the outside of the door. Give it its instructions. The rat squeaks, nods, and begins sort of trudging forward, hesitating, but for a brief moment at the precipice of the portal's film, stealing itself. Its hairs bristle and settle. Squeak! It walks through, and you watch in one fluid motion as the rat walks, and as it does so, all of its meat, organs, fluids, anything of a non-skeletal nature clings to the filmy gate, and on the other side walks a perfectly flensed rat skeleton. It trudges forward for a ways, and then looks back at you, sort of unexpectedly. Kind of paws at its face.
I beckon it to come back with a finger.
It scampers back again through. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Still, now a skeleton. It crawls to your feet, sort of waiting expectantly either to be picked up or commanded further. Its little rat skull making the motion as if to sort of sniff.
I lower my hand to pick it back up.
Crawls in.
Fascinating.
Well,
I'm glad I didn't go in there.
Are we maybe assuming that it...
well, normally I would send someone, maybe bug him to go first, but
You would have to go with me.
yes. So,
Also,
Sid, what's happened? What's become of the rat?
We can apparently go through with some minor changes.
well,
How minor?
the rat did not have a lantern, so that's probably it.
Oh, that's true.
Indeed.
You know what? I'll say they were rats protected by. Those rats
Okay.
should be dead. Those
Oh.
rats should be very, very
Oh.
dead rat popsicles. But I will allow it. The rat was protected by Spin's lantern.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's what's happened with the lantern.
Okay.
Yes,
Mm.
okay.
Okay.
my liege, it appears there's a bit of a sacrifice heading through to the treasure. How badly do we want it?
Well,
I look at
I've
Grover
always had a-
with the most disgust. It's the only thing that's going to make him better.
yes, if it is to be my remedy, then I can see no path in which is too perilous to not proceed with.
And I like lean down to whisper to Groton, who's like still next to me holding the lantern. I'm like, the other options are telling, and it kind of like nods over towards Sponge, telling him what's actually going on, or meeting the noise that's following us.
Aye, yes,
Yes.
those appears to be our options.
And again, the raucous noise of the whooping, hollering, chanting, whistling, cheering, and hatchets pounding grows ever louder behind you once again.
I feel like neither of those options are going to end with us alive.
Can I climb to the top of one of these piles of rotting flesh?
Certainly, make me an agility test.
For God's sake.
15.
Oh, damn.
It is very slippy, slidey, and many times your hand sort of splorches through just a heap of something. But you do manage to climb up a good 6-7 feet or so on one of these great mounds of flesh.
Is there anything on the other side or around? I was just wondering whether maybe this was a portal, and if you climbed over it, well, Sponge was wondering whether this was a portal, and if you climbed over it, you wouldn't have to go through it. It was just like a doorway to the room. You just climb over the top and there it is.
Yeah, it is unfortunately. You scamper sort of up the end of this icy cavern wall, but you see no other way through or around. There's only this one opening, and its strange flesh-rejecting gate.
I was about to say, just out of pure interest, based on Sponge's experience in the battlefield, how old would I say this flesh was?
It's a very interesting question. Go ahead and give me a presence test.
18.
Ooh.
Knows
there are
these lots, but only
there are
battlefield
many.
corpses.
Yeah, there are many fine vintages down here. Some look to be about a year old. Some 2, 3 more. Some look as though they are practically just heaps of black mold at this point.
Oh, they've been doing this a long time, you know. There's a lot of peoples here.
Well, all right. I guess we do not have any other option. However, the question is who goes first. I'd say the youngest goes first, and then we'll go age-wise.
Grogan says, wriggling his aged brow.
Groton, I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest here.
We all
Ladies
just don't know how
first?
old Sponge is. He just looks real old. Leathery.
Okay, well, someone's got to go.
At this point, behind you now, rounding the icy corner, you can start to see some of the guests through the misty, icy haze, sort of rounding the corner, and their lanterns flicking back and forth, their hatchets in the air, them sort of cheering each other on very boisterously.
Sven starts tapping her foot with the music.
Groton, if you want, you can go and hold Sponge's lantern, and I'm going to just start stepping towards the portal.
No, I have to go in at some point, and
Okay.
I'll follow.
All right.
I am going through.
The two of you, in one fell step, stride through, and it's one of the most bizarre sensations you've ever experienced. Not painful necessarily, but you are very aware as all flesh, all meat, all fluid, all organs, in, around, on your body, are stripped away, refused at the very edge of this portal. As you step into the chamber, a pair of perfectly sentient, A-OK, but entirely flensed living skeletons. Your your gear is perfectly intact, unless any of that gear was meat, in which case that also, any like foodstuffs and things are left at the gate as well. But you step through unharmed, and I guess maximally scathed. But as far as your wits go, you're all there. A bony, skeletal version of yourself.
I look at Groton and look him up and down for a second and say, "My God, you have the worst posture I've ever seen in my life."
Well, it will happen to you as well, so no reason to bring that up.
I'm just imagining Groton's skeleton like the old man from Corpse Bride. Like just no teeth in his skull. Well, I don't know.
Marvelous.
But yes, I will start. I'm assuming Groton's going to keep holding the lantern with me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start looking around, and don't know what the rest of them are doing.
Marvelous. Go ahead and make me a presence test. And what is everyone else doing?
Vinda's standing there for the moment, tapping her foot with the music.
Are we sharing dice rolls because we're sharing a lantern?
Oh wow,
We both got
that is
six.
bad.
that's cute.
Omen, this is the time.
I don't have any.
Oh, I do have one, but it's the it's gonna be it.
I don't think it's the time.
I think it is. No,
Really?
I don't know. I think so.
I
You
don't.
walked in and didn't find anything of use, and you
Yeah.
just become skeletons for no reason.
Yeah.
But
I
wait,
think
no,
it's
wait,
a-
did we not see the chest outside? Because you said we could see.
Yeah,
What was
that-
that? Only Sven.
No,
That may have been
everyone.
only Sven.
As I say, everyone can
Everyone
see
can
it,
see
but
it.
that doesn't mean it's there.
Oh, I guess we don't know what.
I would spend it. But you do
okay,
what you
fine.
want.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
you do what you want. You do what you want.
Yeah, I know, but it is the right move.
Also,
All
don't
right.
listen to Sven ever.
All right, I'll re-roll it for a big number, which is
Yeah.
a 3.
Don't
Good
listen
job.
to Sven ever. She is literally Ash from the water from the
I have the best
Evil Dead
advice.
now.
You do
I have
give me
the best
another omen.
advice.
No, I'm kidding. Just no. I'll stick with 3.
So we have a 3 from Groton and 6 from Bugum.
That makes nine together.
I see.
Oh.
I see a skeleton. That's what I see.
Yeah, you see, it is rather hard not to be distracted by what's just happened to the two of you. It is like no small thing. It is a very odd sensation. You don't have skin, you don't have nerves, you don't have flesh. Buggum, your arm is just sort of like some bones tied to another bone, with just like that's all like just skeletal hand tied to skeletal arm, sort of rattling about. Yeah, certainly that would be distracting for just about anybody. Here in the chamber, though, there is a sort of distinct quiet. The wind, the ice, the music, the cheering, all of it here is still. The air is stale, unmoving. It has sort of a sealed, untouched sanctity to it. You feel like your presence here is, with every move, with every step, shifting things, disturbing almost. But the great chest is still there. Now its ornamentation even more clear, its sides, its lids, every aspect of it gilded in incredible fine craftsmanship. Clearly, this is the work of the highest of artisans, the greatest of sculptors. This entire room is dedicated to this one incredible container of treasure, surely.
I think I'm going to, turn around back towards where the portal was. Is it there?
Yes, it is there. You see the other party members just on the other side of it, and behind them, you see the encroaching hunt.
I hold up my hand, skeletal hand taped to my arm, intending to be yay, kind of thumbs up or something. But it just kind of flaps there for a second, and then I look at Groton and I say, what now?
Well, I would wish for the rest to get over here.
Those of you outside, the hunt is maybe 100 meters away at this point and closing. Some of them even have sort of you're not quite sure, but maybe even pointed in your direction.
Have they sped up though?
Hey.
No, they're at the same sort of they're at a marching pace, kind of, sort of shoulder to shoulder.
And I start. This might be a horrible idea. I just take out my meat cleaver, and I'm already tapping my foot, and I just start swinging in the music, like I am ready to join them. This might be a horrible idea, but I'm gonna try this. See what happens.
Well, what do we think? Spin, Sponge, Groton? Oh, Groton's in there. Oh no. Is he safe? Should we?
Why, of course.
No, my lord. I think you make a very fetching skeleton, but I don't know whether you can be prince of all of the skeletons.
I'm not entirely sure. I've never considered the prospect before.
I mean, it's up to you, my lord. I'll happily do skeleton-y stuff for you. I'll even play.
Or we can see what the hunt does. After all, we are guests here as well.
Yes, that's right. We are guests, aren't we? We've been allowed passage in the manor thus far. Perhaps, oh dear. And the prince sort of looks to the flesh gate, looks to the hunt, looks to the flesh gate, looks to the hunt. And it's at this point, the hunt is effectively upon you. And they are all now aware of you. They're calling out, sort of, "Oi! You lot started early!
Apologies.
That's not fair. You're supposed to wait until his lordship says we're ready to go." Oh, I can't believe. Can you believe these cheeky buggers going on ahead of everybody? Have you even got hatchets?
I thought this would serve. But I would love to see you go first and go at it. You seem to be experienced.
Many of them are sort of like sauntering up and filing in, and sort of in their midst, you can see towering above all of them, the Lord of the Manor sort of stood there in their center. I wonder now if you are curious as to the nature of the hunt, and if you would have it explained, I might offer an invitation to join it.
Please, if you would offer an explanation, my lord. And she makes a little bow at the blackened hand.
Did she say my lord?
I think it was a slip of the tongue. My lord.
Yes. Right. Well, it's the hunt. What's all this about then? You and the Lord of the Manor sort of looks onward. Through their masked visage, you sense a sort of somberness. And they say, beyond there lies my beloved, buried, eternally slumbering in her sarcophagus. I would see myself rejoined with her, were it not for her sister, my wretched wife. And all of the guests sort of boo, boo. They clack their hatchets against their shields, and slay the beast. So she guards my beloved sarcophagus tomb, preventing me or anyone from stepping flesh within that chamber, preventing me from resting with my beloved. It's so wrong that I should want to spend eternity at her side, I ask you. Is it so wrong I should be denied this? And so each year it is that the hunt commences, with my guests in tow, family, friends, relatives, to undo this injustice that my scornful wife would put upon me.
So Melkiosk isn't your wife?
Melkioth provides a means of getting past my wife's hellish curses, her icy ire, her rejection of any man or person's flesh.
That makes sense.
If you would join me in the hunt and see it through to its finality, its conclusion, its victory, I know what you seek.
Can I just
and I
ask
may
one question?
grant it.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry, somebody else's lord. I interrupted.
Ask away.
I was just wondering how it was that if you went through the big mound of corpses and got all skelefied, how you came back not skelefied.
Sponge, make a presence test.
Not you having to do that. No.
I got no idea.
No.
Sponge sort of asks this question as standing before him are some couple dozen skeletal, decrepit, zombified, undead party guests, all rancid, rotten. Underneath their masquerade garb are exposed ribs, bones, what little flesh remains being chewed upon by cockroaches and maggots. Clearly, the decrepit remains of long dead relatives of his lordship stand about you. And a few of them sort of look at each other and they say, well, the thing is, mate, you don't. You go in there, you try your best. If you come out alive, you give it another shot next year.
I feel like Sponge at this point just takes a look, takes a step back, like squints a little bit as he just peers around and he goes, "Oh, you're all undead!"
Yeah. Aye. Are you not?
I might be, to be honest with you.
You better be. What? We better be. And they all kind of like harump to each other, like, yeah, what? I thought they was undead. Are they alive?
Svint looks at.
Svint interrupts him. Good. That's a wise decision.
Svint looks at the Lord of the Manor, and says, "Your Lordship, we would happily help you on your hunt, but I do have to say, I would ask in return if you would find it within yourself. Is there a way for us to return with our flesh intact? You see, I have great use for my flesh. Others may have great use for my flesh if they would wish so."
I think there is a great chance that you will find the solutions you need. But that is only if you join in my efforts, see them through. Otherwise, I do not expect any of you to leave this place in any sort of condition.
Do I have your lordship's honor and word?
I am nothing without them.
Technically speaking, he's a skeleton.
And I, for one, would be obliged to join.
What do you think, Your Highness?
Not all need to technically step through.
Prince, as you turn to acknowledge the prince and ask him what he thinks, the prince is sort of observing himself, and he sort of peels back his shirt and sees some of his own exposed rib and some of his own organs sort of dried and rotting inside of him. Some of the bugs skittering in and out of his skin as though it were a blanket. Sort of. Have I been... Sven, what's going on here?
Can I please roll a presence test?
Anything but a 1.
Anything but a 1. 17.
Oh no.
The floodgates open.
What?
I would not know, my lord, but it seems that this environment is affecting you.
Affecting me? Whatever do you mean, Sphinx?
I am not the one with the magics. But I shall pray upon it.
Prayer, Sphinx, prayer. We have been praying, dear Sphinx, and this is where prayer has led.
Perhaps we have not been faithful enough.
I immediately look at myself for any signs of bugs or decomposition. I'm assuming I don't find any.
Bugs is a maybe, decomposition is a no.
Bugs, maybe.
I hear Svind say the words, "The atmosphere, this place must have had an effect on you," and I immediately turn to the Lord with a murderous gaze and pull out my flail. You fuckers killed the prince!
I rescind the protection from the lantern from the prince. If I can. I don't know if I can.
You do so. And he's quite all right. He doesn't seem to mind terribly much.
I'd charge at the, at the Lord of the Manor.
Yeah,
The Lord.
you flail in hand. The prince, very quietly under his breath, Sponge, you have ever been my faithful hammer, and in this moment, all I see before me are nails. See it done.
Done. Absolutely done. I am piling into these like a child in a ball pool. I am diving into them and causing as much damage as possible. Svind, like, literally, if you hadn't have said, the area must have had an effect on you, I would have absolutely blamed the entire party. But because you said that, I was like, right, they're the problem. And that's it. Murder. Just murder. Let's go.
Marvelous. Sponge seizes the initiative, hurls himself into the crowd of undead. I assume roll to attack.
Wait, so we're gonna witness a Sponge versus this entire party fight?
Bergen Chrypt, you watch a sort of horrific scene play out as the hunt arrives. The prince seems to have a moment of extreme panic. Svind seems to be turning back and forth between the Lord of the Manor and the prince, kind of making some funny faces in the process. And then things turn violent.
Real violent. Attack 15.
Roll damage.
7.
One of them explodes into dust, crumpling into a heap of bones and splinters and masquerade bits just under your flail. Incredible. The initiative is yours. Where would you like to pass it? There is. We'll treat the horde as sort of one thing.
So, like the horde, me, Svind, the prince. Would we count Buggham and Groton in this as well?
I don't. Oh wait, ready?
Yeah. And will we count
the
Lord as a separate entity to the horde?
We will.
Then I will hand over to the Lord, as he is the one to reaction. I like literally, so we're all clear. I literally look at the prince and look, like, for the first time realize how much of a corpse he is. I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. My lord is not only a corpse, but he's been a corpse for a real long time. Look at myself to see if it's having, like, see what's going on. And nothing, absolutely fine. Svind looks perfectly fine. The other two are skeletons, but they looked fine beforehand. And then Svind, like, the prince turns around and goes, what's going on? And Svind's like, this place must be having an effect on you. And I'm like, it's not having an effect on the rest of us. You killed the plane, prince. And just absolutely carnage. Okay, cool, amazing. So the Lord.
Incredible. His lordship sort of raises a gloved finger and snaps it, and the horde sort of steps into kind of like a phalanx formation altogether, and they will then attempt to swipe its sponge. Roll to defend, please.
Oh, come on. 12.
I believe. What kind of armor are you wearing?
Medium.
Medium armor.
And I have a shield as well.
They are going to hit.
I would be very upset if they didn't, given how many there is of them.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like you to calculate these separately.
Okay.
Two of them won't matter on account of your shield, but one of them deals 4 damage. They all make contact. 2 of them sort of glance off, but one digs in for 4 damage.
Okay, cool. So, what does the shield take off?
The shield is a static -1 damage. after you have reduced damage from your armor.
Okay, cool. In which case, yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Perfectly grand.
Ever the human wall.
Yeah.
Ever the brick shit house.
I've
Quite
literally gone from 10 HP to 9 HP, so we are doing grand.
Great. They will pass it to Svind.
Svind takes a step towards like the wall more and just starts rolling the I'm assuming here that I can still use the black hand unless you say like no, it's useless. I'm like imagining this as a thing of like I can control it, but I can also just totally not control it at certain points and something else can control it.
You may control it unless you can't, as noted by me.
So I just like start rolling my crucifix between my fingers, and I just, oh no, I said I'll pray on it. I guess I'll pray on it. I can't do anything else. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
A moment of prayer and
It was like
reflection.
dedicated to the prince, dedicated to the prince, dedicated to the prince. You touched my lantern, fuck you, prince. Like that.
Alrighty. Who do you pass initiative to?
We only had Sponge and the Lord. I'll pass it on to Gruten.
Yeah, okay, I did not realize we were in on it. I thought it was okay.
You don't know what happened though.
Yeah, like we just saw like
Yeah.
carnage break out essentially.
Yep.
I think we're too far away to hear anything regardless.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Bugum.
Yes.
Reckon we should help here.
I think they have this under control or are dead, regardless of anything else.
Perhaps if we get the treasure, perhaps they
There
will
might
calm
be a
down.
weapon. Yes. No, I think there could be a weapon in there.
I'm trying to figure out if I can do like presence check and regular things in like a combat scenario like this. I would just want to check around the room more clearly.
Certainly. Yeah, go ahead and make a presence test.
And I would like to do that. Boop-a-doop-a-doop.
You got this.
I got 2.
Yeah, you look around. You don't see anything that you haven't seen already. You are in sort of like moment of extreme panic. Like many traumatic things have happened in the last like 20 seconds that you are not even remotely close to processing.
All right. All right. I don't think I'm of much help out there. Let's walk towards the chest then.
All right. I was dead, and now I'm a skeleton. So, what worse can happen, right? And I essentially, can I go with him, even though it's technically not my turn? Because we still have to hold on to the lantern together.
Sure.
I suppose if Groton hands over to you, then it
Yeah.
6 and 2 3.
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
Can we heave the chest open?
Yes, you may. Go ahead and make a strength test.
Oh, well, that's...
You have no muscles, but still.
Do we both do? I guess we both.
Oh,
You may. Yeah, I'd allow it.
yeah.
Go ahead.
working together.
-2.
What's wrong with you? Are they bones or are they just dust? See, I told you needed to save that omen.
Yeah. All right.
Is 10 enough with a -2?
10 and a -2. Fascinating.
That's the first time we had a minus. That's the
No.
first time we had. No?
Groton got a minus like in the first or second episode.
Wasn't it a
wow.
0?
Amazing.
No, there was a minus.
I don't recall a minus, but I
I'm
probably
pretty
did.
sure there was a -1. As I
That's
remember.
hilarious.
You go to raise the lid of the treasure chest, and it's a little difficult given that it doesn't have a hinge. But you lift the enormous lid on this gigantic chest, and for a moment, spy just a glimpse of an immaculate corpse in fine regalia, as the lid slams shut from out underneath your fingers, closes back perfectly with a whoosh. And in that moment, the air grows dry, staler than ever before for a moment. And you sort of hear like a strange ringing in your senses. And then, like a typhoon, he appears, the scorned wife. The ghost of his lordship, of the manor's wife, bursts forth in a ball of eccentric blue and pink lightning swirls, aghast, made of raw plasmatic fury, arcing in every direction. She screeches and wails, hurling infernal curses that echo through the chamber. And each of you are zapped for 1 damage by her sort of like arcing electrical sparks.
All right.
Do they come outside of the portal? Are we when you say each of us, do you mean us as well?
No,
I think
Just the two of them in the chamber.
Cool. All right. That's all right. We've got to fight that as well as the horde. I might have a problem.
I love how you said, if it's the 2 of them, I might have a problem. If it's just 1, I'll be fine.
We'll see. This is the first time the whole campaign I've taken any damage. So
That's not my first time. I'm just looking back at the rest of the party with a noose around my neck, like first time.
You're new here, huh? Okay, I guess that's my who has not gone, I guess.
It's Bugum and the
everyone but the
Horde.
prince, I believe.
And the Prince. No, the Horde,
Horde is
also?
gone.
Oh, okay.
Horde has gone, yeah.
The prince
Lord
went
handed
as
them.
well. The prince went after Sponge.
No, so there was
No.
Oh,
me,
No, that's the Lord.
their lord,
oh,
horde,
the horde,
their
right?
lord handed over to the horde, then Svind, Groton Bugum. So the prince is the only person to go.
Okay.
The prince is actually, having taken one of the hatchets from the dining table earlier, is going to hoist it above his head and chuck it into the undead horde.
Oh,
Oh.
That's the first
Well
time
done,
me as a
Prince.
player has actually had respect for this prince.
I'll be danged, he actually does a decent bit of damage there. Well done, boyo. And at this point, he will pass it back to himself and draw the black Kurgus dagger that was found in the couch upstairs in the lounge. He readies it at his side and stands at the ready behind Sponge, who he will pass the initiative to.
Amazing. I am just going to once again recklessly attack. Put my foot on one of their shields, push it back, and crack somebody with a flail into the
Go for it.
horde. I am aiming to get to the Lord. That is my entire purpose. The horde is an inconvenience. I am doing what I can to get to the Lord. Because from my point of view, first of all, he disrespected the prince on the stairs. How dare he? Second of all, he thinks the party's all about him. Dickhead. And third of all, he's the reason why the prince is, from Sponge's perspective, he's the reason why the prince is suddenly a walking corpse, spontaneously, out of nowhere. God damn it. So yeah. 20, damage 5.
Incredible. 20, that is, what would your max damage be?
Max damage is a d8, so 8, presumably. Do
Marvelous.
you add strength to it as well? Or is it just...
Just the damage.
Just the. Yeah, so the damage.
Oh, actually, we're supposed to. We are meant to double damage. Actually, so what did you roll for damage?
5, so 10.
10. Incredible. Yeah, you eviscerate 2 of the undead hunting horde in like one swell swoop. Like 2 of them are just demolished and sprayed across the room. And you sort of like charge forward into the space that they occupied.
I feel like there's a little bit
closer.
of foam coming from my mouth. Like the anger is building, and it's just they're like they can definitely tell I'm alive now because I'm like foaming and boiling. The blood is boiling. I'm getting redder and redder and just full on. Yeah, like this is probably the scariest the sponge has actually ever been. Just absolutely cannot believe. Yeah.
Incredible. All right. Where would you like to pass?
I'm actually going to pass it. I was going to pass it over to Groton and Buggum as they are the next ones in the immediate danger. But I think Buggum's just disappeared for 2 seconds. All right, yeah, no, he'll be back in a second. In which case, I will. The prince has already gone, hasn't he? Because he drew the dagger and went behind me. In which case, I'll hand it back over to the Lord again, the Lord of the Manor.
Interesting.
So that you can't go twice.
Ooh, his lordship. His lordship seems oddly fixed on you, not in a manner that suggests he finds you threatening per se. He's very much sort of holding his ground and kind of observing this like furious onslaught that you are inflicting on his troops, and he seems very curious, just sort of like taking you in for a moment. And it's at this point that he will pass it on to his troops. Sponge, please roll to defend.
Yeah.
He so wants to use you to get his wife.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, 100%. He's looking at it going.
He's like eyeing you like a meal, like he's starved. He's like,
It's like this could be the ticket.
This guy could actually do it. Oh shit!
If only now he dies and I make him come back so that he's under my control.
That could be it. Oh God, 6.
Ooh, okay.
The bad one. I'm just too in the moment, obviously.
So incoming damage, we have 3, 3, and 2.
Oh, in which case I don't take any.
For the force of nature. They're hatchets.
The armor absorbs 2. For the people that are listening, the armor absorbs 2 and the shield absorbs 1. So anything under 3 damage is not gonna.
That's not one-time things. I thought.
Oh, keep in mind the armor absorbs D2.
Oh, a D2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay, so I need to roll D2. Cool. In which case, I've definitely been doing that wrong. And my apologies.
I think up till now it's probably been negligible, but...
Okay, so, alright, yeah, in which case, yeah, no, fair enough.
It's a 1.
And it was 3-3-2 or 3-2-2?
3-3-2.
Yeah, cool.
Take
Alright.
A couple of smacks.
I now have Svin's maximum health.
Nice. Yeah, Sponge just sort of kind of like tanking all of the attacks, just sort of like letting them bash and batter around and against him. The Horde will pass it on to Svin.
I know what I want to do, but I'm doubting what answer I want to get out of it. You know what? I'll leave it nice and vague. I take the skeleton rat that I have, and unapologetically, as I stand there next to the wall, like begin to tear it apart. So like all of the bones like from each other individually until I have like a handful, like or 2 cupped hands full of like little rat bones. I shake them up. and I let them fall to the ground, and I actually want to do a little prayer just to like see this, if you're okay with this, see this as like a premonition thing, as like if there's I don't have a specific question, but if there is anything like I could see or hear or sense about the situation in general, like you can be very vague with it. If you're like, nah, I don't want that, like that's cool, but
kind of like seeking holy guidance or something, or unholy guidance.
Guidance, or it doesn't even have to be guidance per se, but yeah,
Like a sign for something.
Yeah.
Just
Void,
like,
show me
hey,
a sign.
just like, hey, GM, want to throw anything at me? Yeah, and yeah, that's just because, and I'll see what I do with it, and you can fill it in however you want to. And I'll still need to roll if I hear or if anything happens.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a presence test.
Yeah. An 18.
You can sense that the dark powers of the universe that conspire to bring the world closer to annihilation, their eyes are curiously fixed on this moment. The gaze of the shadows are strong here. The void hungers to see what outcome will befall everyone here.
Cool. I take that as a sign of passivity.
Amazing.
I don't help people, I make deals.
I make sure that the universe goes the way it has to for the void, of course. I will hand it over to I'll hand it over to Gruten again.
Just a question. Are we like running this as it's our turn? Like together?
No, I think you can do it separately, right?
You can do it separately, yeah.
Okay, I just wasn't sure because last time only Buggum didn't go, but that's
I kind of
the chest.
Yeah, I went with you and lifted the chest with you and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a limitation in the fact that you have to hold the lamp together.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god.
Okay.
It's like all of those fights where people are like chained together and they have to like fight with each other, like holding each other's hands. You know.
How big is this enemy?
She is quite looming. Think like the size of like a very lean black bear, just in terms of mass. She's very ghastly. She is like a floating apparition of just sort of like glowing, hateful energies, just spite made manifest, just kind of coursing around the room, her twisted face screeching at you.
I'm gonna try to.
I was gonna say, if you're unsure, I can take the. If everyone's okay with it, I could take the, because there is something Bugum's gonna do.
Well, I don't know. Sven did give. I don't know if that can be like. I mean, you get to go next.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brothers up. We got it.
It's so weird because in my mind right now, there's like a very aggressive, spooky lady that is damaging us severely. I can't fight. Okay. In a panic self-defense, I'm gonna once again just throw my staff. That is what I
go for it.
do.
Yeah, make a ranged attack.
Ooh, do I click the staff as like an attack? Would that count?
Worst case scenario, you can just roll your presence.
Okay, I'll try the staff and see if that's okay.
I love how this is like, this worked once before. It might work again and even better.
The optimism is amazing.
Staff's historically good for bonking people.
The attack 11.
You hurl your staff through the air, and it sort of whisks through some of the plasmatic ectofluid sort of draping along behind it, but just seems to go straight through and clacks against the other side of the chamber.
Okay, you see a terrifyingly defeated face. No, actually, you don't. You see a skeleton face.
It's just still gritting. Just like,
But with like an upside smile.
Yeah, if you had one, it would be the defeat face. Just like, but you don't see that. And it's Bugham's turn. I guess.
why? What are you doing? Why are you throwing that? What's wrong with you?
There's nothing. I don't know what to do,
Well,
Bugham.
exactly. And then Bugger like kind of lowers down slightly and says as loud as possible, "My lady, we have come, your servants, to wake you." Just it's
Sure. Anything else?
just staying prostrate, but also like kind of peeking up to see if it's working.
Marvelous. Yeah. Who would you like to pass initiative to?
Her. Why not?
I think she's the only one left.
Yeah.
The thing still sort of like wisping about the room, floating around, hisses not even at you, just sort of in like both of your general direction. Wretched, the lot of you! You shall lay no hand on my sister's remains. Be gone from here. And claws at you with her enormous sort of like crackling, energetic finger claws. Roll to defend. Both of you.
Oh, crap.
Guess she isn't in the mood for talking, huh?
Who'd have thunk?
What was that? A 1D? The roll does the weird thing. What was it? My.
Defending is agility.
So it's just a D20 plus or minus whatever deal.
14.
Oh yeah, minus nothing. Okay.
Oh wow.
Got a 1.
Oh dear. All right. Grutin is going to suffer 4 damage, mitigated by armor, mind you. Buggin is also going to take 2 damage.
So 4 damage. So I have light armor. I don't know what that
Okay.
entails.
Light
D2?
armor.
Right?
Light armor is a D2 subtracted from the damage taken.
Okay. That would be a 2. That took 4, you said? So.
Yep.
1 HP. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So you
rolled a 2.
you do take some damage, and this like lightning arcing off of her melts your armor and causes it to just sort of like immediately just alight and into ash, and your armor is destroyed.
Well, shit.
She then elects to go again, wailing, "Be gone from here!" Roll to defend.
Look, I for one really thought talking to her might have worked.
I was like, it's our only chance anyway. What is wrong with you?
Tony, holy shit. I'm so sorry for you.
There's nothing.
Buggum, how'd you do?
4.
4? All right. Well, Buggum is going to take 3 incoming damage. Grutin, you are going to take 6 incoming damage.
It doesn't go to minus, I'm guessing. Just straight down
It
to
does
0.
not.
No.
Yeah. Sorry, are you a negative?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm at that would be -5.
Yeah,
I
you're
can
so
see.
much
Okay.
already.
Yeah, your bones sort of like clatter against the wall. Actually, we'll say your skeleton is sort of like pushed back through the flesh cave, just sort of whoosh, and your bones kind of clatter in front of Svind. Yeah, she will elect to have Sponge go.
Okay. Right. Oh god. I will keep doing exactly the same as I have done, which is
Roll to
try
attack.
get to the Lord. through the medium of literally this horde. 12.
Roll damage.
4.
All right. Another one is demolished into pieces.
How close am I to the Lord?
You have got about like 2 rows worth of huntsmen to go. You are quite close.
And just a quick question while I'm thinking: if light armor is a D2, is medium armor the same as D2 as well?
And medium armor is minus D4 damage.
Oh right, okay. In which case I did a D2 before. Let me just. I'm not going to go back and retrospectively do it. It's just I want to know for future reference because I've done more than enough where I've just taken it as granted. So I will. I'll make sure that I do it in future.
Sure.
That's cool. In which case I'm gonna spit at him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You spit. You summon all your ire and your disdain. And
Vile.
yeah, you up to his face.
Yeah. I'm gonna get
Yes. Against the side of his mask.
Yeah. How dare you hurt my prince? My lord was sacred. He will be the great lord of the shadow. And now I just start spouting bullshit, saying he's like the lord of the shadow, the heir of the shadow king, and all this jazz, and just worshipping the ground he walks on, and just absolutely like full on all of the zealot stuff that a knight would go into battle with, but said in a really stupid way because he's not that eloquent. So, you know, and I will hand it over to the prince actually because he's behind me. We'll hand it over to the prince.
Yeah, the prince, feeling rather emboldened, confused, betrayed, hurt, a lot of things. The prince is actually going to charge in and not really do anything terribly effectively, but he is just going to kind of flail his knife around, just sort of, how about you? How about you all?
He's trying.
He's trying. He's doing his best.
Is the lord looking at the knife going, that's my knife from behind my sofa?
Oh, that's where that went. Yeah, the prince will... Who isn't gone yet? I believe the Horde and the Manor Lord and Svind.
Yeah, I have.
The prince will pass to Svind.
Hey. I'm so useful in this fight. Oh, can't wait to be more useful. I having got little premonition. I start just walking towards the bones of Gruten that came out of the portal, clattering out. And I kind of like take a few stray ones and put them all in like one pile. Mm-hmm. And I walk towards that. I start doing that, and I'm like uttering like nonsense, or like not nonsense, but stuff that no one understands. And I'm like, just as I do this, like I'm muttering like "Morte mi buire anima nagere necessera morte mire morte fer." Yeah.
Dark incantations, got it.
Yeah, and I just do that. I'm curious to see how long it'll take before Gruten comes back. If he does come back, I think he will. I think Svind is very certain, but still curious that he will come back. So yeah.
No.
And did anyone not go yet?
The Horde and his lordship.
Oh, and Bugum
and
also
me.
put up his hand.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Bugum, oh, that's right. Yeah, you prostrated yourself last round.
Yeah. She took 2 rounds, so
yeah. So I'll hand it to Bugum.
Are you sure you want to hand it to Bugum?
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be better to hand it over to the Horde.
The Horde?
All right.
Or the
Otherwise they're
Lord.
gonna get 2 goes.
Yeah, otherwise they might get 2 in a row.
But and the Lord already went?
Not yet.
No, okay, I'll hand it to the horde.
All right, Sponge, roll to defend.
I will indeed. Oh God, 3.
Ooh.
I'm just so in the zone. I don't even care about defending myself anymore. I'm just so.
You have entered a pure, honest, and incredible rage. So furious that the damage incoming is entirely negligible. If you are being harmed, you are so engrossed in your direct mission that it doesn't even matter.
Oh, amazing. It's just beating me and I don't even realize. Oh, hold on 2 seconds, friends.
I thought that was meant, yeah.
This is it. This is my rage form.
There it is, folks. The special effects budget.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Now just put a green screen on a sheepy's eye.
That is it. I was trying to copy and paste something and managed to refresh the page by accident, and therefore it's
Fine.
well back. Oh, good.
Okay.
Marvelous.
Continue.
The horde will pass it along to his lordship, who is just going to kind of speak softly over the melee to Sponge. Say, are you aware, Furious One, of the fate that has befallen your prince? For it has not been my doing, but I could make it known the truth to you.
You fucking
And I can and I can offer you a solution. And he will then pass it to Buggum.
Oh.
So, kind of probably down on one knee after getting like scorched by lightning, and then having seen Groton get blasted out of the portal. Still like hand on the lantern, like look up and be like, well, that didn't work. All right then, you killed my best. You killed my. You killed the person I hated the least. So be it. No more Mr. Nice Buggum Toe. Screw you, bitch. And then I'm going to walk over to the chest and smash the lantern on top of it to try and like
Ooh.
drop the flame on it.
Fascinating. Ooh.
Because the flame burns everything, right? I have no idea. Like, she said she didn't want anyone touching.
But the black flame hungers for much.
I think I just made enemies outside, though.
Incredible. Ooh, what do I even?
If you need
No,
a
I
little
guess-
time to figure that one out, yeah.
Yeah, give me a strength test.
Okay. Oh, that's... at least I'm better than... Oh, that's not good. It's 4.
That's what you get.
Hey, what? What do you mean that's what you get?
For talking shit about a dead person.
Well, I said he was the person I hated the least.
If I had an omen, you would get it.
You you clash the black lantern against the stone top of the sarcophagus. Largely, it seems to bounce off, but a few sort of black embers do seem to trickle off of the side. There does seem to be some merit to this approach.
Okay. And then I pass the turn
You get to go again.
to myself.
If you want to,
And
yeah.
I'm gonna do it again.
Go for it. Give me another strength test.
Yes. Please roll good, Buggum. You... Oh, you little bitch. Can I get an omen,
What do we got?
please?
How?
Can I get an omen, anyone?
What are we looking at?
We're gonna need that omen to bring back Groton.
No, he's gonna come back anyway.
Do you think? do you really believe this situation is worth it, Norman?
I'm pretty sure this is a terrible idea and the Lord's gonna be massively pissed, but I don't know any of that.
Be dead. Don't worry about him.
Like, I don't know any of that, so, you know.
It's true. But then you also don't know who the person is in the sarcophagus.
No, but she said something about leave her alone, sister.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, makes sense. I'm not gonna fight her. Fucking, like the staff trick didn't work.
You
That's
can
all
try
we
throwing
had.
my staff again. It might work this time.
Yeah, maybe.
Smash the lantern on the ghost. That'd be fine.
The collective combat effectiveness of both Bugum and Groton has been throwing a staff. If that doesn't work, then I'm out of options.
All right. Well, if there are no moments to spare, Bugum, who would you like to pass initiative to?
Who's most likely to kill Sven?
No, I have an
And I
idea.
will like to say, Groton should still be considered in initiative.
Oh, well, screw it. I'm giving it to my best buddy Groton then.
Wow.
My least
Come
worst
back,
buddy
come
Groton.
back, come back.
Groton.
Yes.
Your form floats in a space in between spaces. Your mind drifts, traveling, transient, somewhere on its way, but temporarily halted, interrupted, invited to converse for a moment. And a voice asks, would you like to return? It is St. Ossa's night after all.
Yes. I don't wish to die.
I mean, you have died. Like,
Wish to not die.
Very well. You've bones enough yet to move, dance, revel as you will. It's your night. Enjoy it as you will. Have a fine St. Ossa's night. And you feel a sort of whooshing rush as you are back in your bones, surrounded by all the chaos around you, mere moments after your death.
What a day.
The first sight you have is Sven praying over you,
It's like,
like looming over you.
take me back, take me back, take me back.
Omen.
You have your turn.
What is the state of my? Because you said it was picked up, like, it fling. Am I about? Like, is everything intact? I guess is my question.
Your hit points are. Oh, that's not what I want. You may refresh your hit points. Your armor is still utterly demolished. There's nothing to be seen of it. And there are other consequences which I will make known later.
Okay, but as to like movement, like I can move my arms. Like, are they attached?
You are a fully formed skeleton.
Okay.
The bones sort of back together.
Okay.
Including the ones in Sven's hand.
Yep.
Whoop.
And we're holding hands for a moment.
Aww.
Mummy and Daddy are doing public displays of affection.
Ew, get out of here with that.
Okay, I'm guessing that's my go. I don't get to do anything more than that. That is what I
I'd allow an action.
I would simply be to look in. I forget I'm a bone face.
Yeah, sure. Collect yourself.
Yeah,
Literally.
just stare at Sven like, what is going on? Or what's happening?
Do I get the action?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. All right. Only a few words for you. I say, congratulations, you're back. And then and then I turn towards whatever is happening there. Kind of realizing that this is a there are like still high chances that both parties here might win, but it has been dragging on for quite some time now. So she sees a way where like both parties can kind of win here. She's gonna try to be a gaslight gatekeep girl boss that she is. And walk walk up where I imagine Sponge is in front of these like two lines still with the Lord behind the two lines. Walk up behind Sponge in his like rage where they probably have seen him maybe not as angry as before, but they probably know what it is like for Sponge to lose his shit. I feel like it.
Oh, certainly.
And she will walk up behind Sponge and just put the hand on his shoulder or like upper arm. Just that. Put it there. Say, Sponge, I know you think my control over the dead is great and vast and over all things magical. I cannot fix this. I believe he can. So perhaps we listen and stand down and help. Just pulling the card. I don't know what card.
Sure. Yeah, the Sponge, please see reason.
The Sponge. I'm your mommy. Listen to me.
Yeah.
I went with sun's getting low, big guy.
Yeah. This guy can fix the prince. Maybe he can make it all better.
Or you can stay fighting and die.
Sure. Who do you pass the initiative to?
I will pass it on to Sponge. Or do you need some time to think about how you will take the situation?
Sponge is a creature of instinct, so I'm not sure that like there's really much room for thought. I feel like at this point he's probably grabbed somebody's face, and that's the reason why you were able to like put your hand on his arm.
Yeah.
Or he's actually no, because he's got his hands full with the lantern and the shield and bloody everything else. So he's probably like, I don't know, like pulling his mace out of the person's head or what have you, and his flail. I think at that point he like you wild angry eyes just dart to you and then dart over to the Lord in with sheer fury and then dart back to the prince as a sort of like, I am ready. I am ready to kill everybody here. I am ready. What do you want me to do?
And now we just turn Sponge.
like I'm because he said he was like, you are a hammer and all I see are nails, and it's like, cool, I'm gonna absolutely annihilate everything here, and including, to be fair, I'd do all of this, and if I'd have killed all of them, I then would have tried to kill my entire party apart from the prince because we allowed him to die.
It's like a barbarian.
There was nothing, no holds barred here. Sponge is a horrible creature, and all he sees is we have failed to keep the prince alive. That's all he sees, even though he didn't realize the prince has been dead for the past 3 months. But still, you know. So I think he's in absolute like sheer rage. But the only thing that's stopping him from flipping out is that moment of Svind being like, this could be the only person to fix the prince. And that's the reason why I'm looking at the prince being like, What do you want? What do you want? I am ready to kill everybody here. With a little trickle of blood down the face, because I'm not ready. And I don't know. I suppose I'd probably hand straight over to the prince. I'd postpone my turn, ready to get mauled, standing ready, and hand over to the prince to answer my question. You know.
The prince, sort of seeing all this, levels his dagger towards the Manor Lord's face in his direction and says, "Speak, vile thing! If you have a solution to this atrocity that has befallen me, some cure, some means of undoing, then you will make it clear. You will say your piece. We will decide then what to do with you." Passes to the Manor Lord.
Sebastian?
Yes.
Even though it's not my turn, can I just give a glance to the Manor Lord? Because essentially Sven is like, I might have given you your chance to fucking get rid of all of this. Like, just a glance, like, that's like, just very intense of like,
Yeah, all eyes are on the Manor Lord, and sort of the empty void sockets behind his mask. The muffled voice says aloud from behind it, "There are means, both in my powers and the powers of associates who are on their way now. I would make those means available to you, to grant you life beyond the death you have experienced, and even to perhaps craft your flesh anew. These methods are available, but on the condition, the singular condition, that you aid me in ridding this manor once and for all, my estate be clear of that wretched, damnable wife of mine." He points to the crackling glow, the sort of like strobing lights of the chamber behind all of you.
Probably see a skeleton like smashing a lantern.
But it's completely silence for us.
Just
like we don't get any sound from the other side, so we just see you like screaming and like smashing things.
Like stopping everyone over. And then
And only is not smashing, he's bouncing. He's
it's mostly bouncing,
There's no smashing involved. Bang, bang, bang. I look straight back to the prince.
I think in this moment, the prince sort of looks to you, Sponge, looks to Sven, looks behind, and nods solemnly to all of you. "Very well then. Let's see it done, shall we? Do this now for your prince. See it finished. Whatever that creature is, we shall end it. And you shall give me my cure." He points to the Manor Lord. "We shall see it done."
I love the I love the idea that Sponge is like slowly lowering someone's leg that he's ripped off and been hitting people with. You know, just like, okay, we could be chill now.
He wouldn't at all. He is so wound. He's wound up so tight that like he just needs something else to hit, and it's either going to be whatever the next thing is, one of this horde, or the mound of rotting flesh. He just needs something to just alleviate that sheer level of anger, failure, hatred, just all of the more emotions than he knows how to deal with, because he doesn't feel things most of the time. He's just
I take a step away from Sponge so he can charge.
Are all of those of you, Gruten, you certainly hear all of this as well. Sven, Sponge, Gruten, are you all aligned with this pact? Do you agree to these terms and this arrangement? Will you help the Manor Lord in slaying his scorned wife?
Yeah, whatever the prince said, and 100%.
Yeah, whatever the prince said. No, I'll agree, but yeah, for different reasons.
Marvelous. Gritton?
Yeah, I'm hoping that he also means me and not just the prince when he says come back, because I'm realistic. Yeah, because I don't have. Yeah.
With everyone's intentions aligned, at least temporarily, the plan is set. The formations are ready. The hunt resumes in a fashion, and all prepare to charge into the chamber of the Manor's beloved, sister to his scorned wife. I would like each of you to choose an attribute from among your stats and give me a roll using that to determine how you help in the coming battle against the scorned wife.
Just roll one. Yeah.
Sure. Do you want to rely on your brawn? Do you want to rely on your intellect?
I wish to rely on my agility.
All right.
Short of flesh as I am.
Oh my lord.
Pony, you already rolled, Julie. You good?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay,
Yeah.
13.
You rolled
Yeah,
the
you did.
13, don't worry.
13.
All right.
It's the best roll Groton has got in a
Yeah.
couple of episodes
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
When it matters.
I rolled toughness for 19.
Ooh, okay.
I will be doing what I do best. That's demanding things from the sidelines. So I'll be using my presence. And a 17 I rolled for that.
Marvelous.
I have agreed to nothing, therefore I have rolled nothing.
Fair enough.
I'm not a
so
part.
be it.
I'm not a part of this. Like, I haven't been part of the agreement. I don't think.
I suppose what I'm asking is, as everyone sort of charges in to storm the chamber and enact the final act of the hunt,
Okay.
what is it you would like to rely on in this battle against the scorned wife?
I mean, I'm still committed to smashing this lantern and burning the chest coffin.
So
Strength it
then.
is.
Okay, come on, don't pony it up. Oh, damn it, pony! The curse.
Yeah, so the hunt charges in, the rest of you in tow. Many of them, the sort of guests of the manor, spy Buggum smashing this lantern. They kind of grab you and like throw you to the ground.
What?
And yell at you. No, stop that, you fool!
What?
I
I have no idea what's going on.
His lordship's precious love is in there. How dare you? And they start pummeling you.
Ow!
Groton, in what way would you like to utilize your agility in this endeavor?
Well, I will say before yeah, Graham, no. Before I died, I was also under the assumption, I guess, that it had something to do with the body in there. Like needing to, yeah, they were protecting the body, so therefore I'm just gonna go for the chest and try to open it. That's pretty much it. Like that is my goal, at least when we enter, to like just rush up and try to like open it.
All right. Yeah, you rush up, you try to open the chest, which diverts the attention of the scorned one. Each and every time you open it, she swivels her attention to you and shrieks hellish curses in your direction, giving the others a chance to briefly strike out and lash at the creature. Sven, how would you like to utilize your abilities to help aid in the fight?
Actually, Sven doesn't do a whole lot, but Presence is also looking at. Hey, it's a pattern. Presence is also noticing things, and I guess she just like every so often. allow me, like, correct me if this can't happen, but I imagine she's like standing next to the Lord of the Manor and like kind of trying to learn about like these types of like spirits and such as they're like there, so they're like talking about that. And every so often when she's talking about that and like learning about these spirits, she notices something like about the spirit, like something on the left, like or on the side, or a spot where she's not looking and stuff like that. And she just like every so often, like haphazardly through the conversation they're having, just like says that to the nearest person, before continuing
Sure. May
her
I,
conversation.
yeah. Perhaps maybe even like with your sort of powers and crucifix in tow, maybe even like guiding some of the troops to say like strike here while she isn't looking.
Yeah.
Hmm. Marvelous, marvelous. Sponge, what can we expect from your onslaught?
Well, I rolled toughness, so I would imagine that I am 210% just being the wall. I am being the distraction. I'm the one that is trying to absorb all the damage so that other people can get their hits in.
Marvelous, marvelous. Yeah, the lot of you through the course of it. Let's see. Sven, one thing you learn very quickly is that the scorned wife, each time she attacks, targets nearly everything in the chamber simultaneously, her fury sort of arcing out. And through this, you end up taking 3 damage.
All of us?
Sven.
Oh, okay.
Sponge, you tanking over and over, you do manage to sort of act as like a gigantic wall on and off. You end up succumbing to 4 damage throughout this fight.
Is that... Are we just making it a blanket 4 damage, including everything, or do I deduct everything? Yeah, that's something. 4 damage.
Blanket
cool.
4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Zipped and zapped. His lordship also is accosted in many such a way, but you see that there was sort of a strange like aura of dark necromantic powers surrounding him that temporarily shields him. Fearsome and foreboding as that is. The lot of you watch as sort of wave after wave of guests, dozen after dozen, come barreling in one after the next, zapped into ashes. You see that even as you enter the chamber, the floor was littered with ancient hatchets, weapons, pieces of armor, bones, and mounds of ash from hunts past, scattered all across the floor. And you watch again as wave after wave of these undead guests barrel in, hatchets at the ready, sort of semi-effectively swiping away. You see that the weapons only connect half the time, splattering the ectoplasm against the wall. Eventually, through trial and tribulation, combat, grit, blood, sweat, bones. Well, actually, no blood or sweat. Just clattering bones and steel. You are victorious, in a sense. Tired, weary, flensed. You stand there in an empty chamber, the ghast eventually succumbing to the many, many blows, shrieking its final hellish curse, saying to you all, I shall see you in the gates of hell. I shall meet you there, where surely you are bound, wretched the lot of you. I will await to tear you flesh from bone again and again and again. With that, she withers into a misty vapor and disappears, her harsh words echoing in the chamber. You stand there around the great sarcophagus, the manor of the Lord, panting, heaving, what remains of his guests sort of picking themselves up, somewhat literally even, reassembling bits, trying to scrounge around for what parts of them have been zapped off. The Lord turns to the lot of you, primarily the prince, who he regards with a deep, solemn bow. I thank you all greatly for your service in this. At long last, I am reunited with my love. He passes a tender, caressing hand atop the sarcophagus. So I will join her now. You will meet someone. Hirkon will bring them through the front gate. They are to arrive later the evening of this day. I believe you have met them before. The flesh wizard, Skunter, they call him. He will see your flesh made whole, sorted from the pile outside. You may loot from my manor as you see fit. I will rest here. So long as I am undisturbed, what's of my manor is yours. Plunder as you see fit. Be gone now. Leave us.
Do you have
The
any
guests begin
books
to
on?
dialogue. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Oh.
it's funny if it's interrupted or not. But
Yeah, mostly it's just like the guests sort of like in this tender moment. Even now, they are sort of like really chummy and jockish in a way. They're kind of like, "Hey, good job, everybody! We did it!"
she was just going to ask the Lord, as everyone's like, even like, do you have any books on necromancy?
Dozens. I'm sure you will find them in time.
In time for what? Like the manor's not going to crumble or disappear or something, right?
I should think not.
Good.
You may not ask me any more questions. He points to Buggum.
Shit.
You heard him. I'm going to eat that pig.
I shall leave you to it then.
May the void
Farewell.
give you what you desire.
It already has. And he pushes the lid of the sarcophagus, and literally, you see for the first time his long, bony limbs descend from underneath his tall cloak, and you watch him sort of peel it off. And his great skeletal frame, he takes the mask and the garb off, and his hideous, tall, lanky lich form literally crawls in with this like desiccated, dry corpse of this like immaculately garbed noble woman. He crawls in gingerly. Sets the lid atop.
I roll a non-existent tear from my eye. It's so beautiful, isn't it?
I'm curious if the
Yes.
demon is still here.
You as you retreat up the tunnel, the hellish winds have ceased. The ice is already melting. You get to the lantern chamber, and the lanterns are gone. Melchioth is no more. It is but a wide, empty chamber. You make your way past the bell-ringing strands, through the Hall of Holes, up through the great statue, and into the entryway. You can see through the great windows that the morning is beginning to crest over the horizon. St. Os's night beginning to come to a close. The guests of the manor sort of filter all around you. What remains of them are in very high spirits. All of them sort of sad to see their lord go, but very glad that at long last they have achieved his dream. They have succeeded for his lordship, and they are ever so merry for him. They wonder if there will be a next year. Some of them ask if they will see you here again at that time. Perhaps not for a hunt, but to revel, to party, to frolic once more. Some of them are glad to be done of the affair. sort of shaking off the spell of the manor in a way. Very gingerly eager to get back into their coffins and holes, climbing back into the dirt, covering themselves grumpily. But all of them in a generally good state of affairs. As you walk out into the courtyard to greet the morning air, sort of quiet cold, the mist, the dew, you can see on the far side of the courtyard Hirkon opening the gate, and you see the somewhat familiar frame of the leper you met in Galgenbeck, Skunter, the flesh wizard. He waves gingerly at the lot of you from far across the way, and the prince sort of eyes and says, "I've no idea who that is. But
He's a leper, my
my,
lord.
what a night it's been, eh?"
Yeah, it's been pretty weird.
Eventful.
I don't
Pretty
have
weird
words.
indeed.
There are no
Nor I.
words.
There better not be words around here, or I'll have them.
All right. I mean, yeah.
Yes, they might attack us.
Yes, exactly, right?
But we have gained much, have we not?
I lost a lot of
Have
flesh.
we?
You
Yes,
could
we've gained
literally
an entire
loot
manor.
the entire manor.
Surely that's
Yeah,
a treasure
no,
in and
I
of
completely
itself.
forgot. And I'd put down the throne from my back, and pull out the ornate golden egg from in the thing and present it to the prince.
And he is, his skeletal face is alight. All of you skeletons now at this point. His bony hands clamber around, and he, joyous. He grins a skeletal grin and sort of, absolutely incredible, magnificent. Why, this is just the thing. I feel better already. What's that over there? Darling, and he passes the egg back to just whoever. He flippantly sort of tosses it to the group, and he, over there. Well, it's my beloved bride-to-be. Darling, and you all see a strange figure in a billowing white gown sort of swivel and turn, its face an amalgamation of strange lumping flesh behind a great wafting veil. And he says, "Oh, what a delightful surprise. Perhaps it's the magic of this strange, whimsical night. Darling, it's so good to see you." And he steps forward, and the creature pummels him to the ground and tears him limb from limb, screeching and squelching, "Death to the prince!" And throws his bones all over the place.
I just whisper loud enough for Gruten to hear.
I cannot wait to learn necromancy.
Right, please do it quickly. Before Sponge loses it.
I feel like Sponge has already lost it. Sponge sees it and just like end scene as Sponge leaps off the veranda, in hand, just
freeze frame on the prince being pummeled by the golem and Sponge leaping to his aid.
Thank you very much for watching Manor Most Foul. We appreciate it, and I offer apologies for the slight delay in the finale, as my computer has died twice and had to be sent back in the last few months. A massive thanks to the patrons who are on screen now, who see to it that the shows continue. If you want to help fund the channel and work towards more shows like this one more regularly, please do consider checking out the Patreon and pledging, although other options will be available in the future as well. You can look forward to a few more upcoming shows in the next few weeks and months, with a really fun one-shot and a shorter show run by some amazing guest GMs. And one, run by me coming up soon after that, set in a familiar setting in the stars, where war is apparently quite common. Everything else aside, we hope you enjoyed Manor Most Foul. And of course, when the desire for stories peak for you, always feel free to wander.